Okay. Yeah, we're good to go. Hello, everyone. My name is Abhimanyu, and welcome one and all to the ISMO 2021 model making competition. So let's now we are right now we are just waiting for everybody to join in, and we are going to start this session in a couple of minutes. Thank you all so much for being here. Yeah, so in the meantime, while we are waiting for all our contestants to join in so that we can formally begin this competition, I'm thinking why not let's just announce the winners of one of our events that happened like last week, the treasure hunt, which was coincidentally one of our more popular events. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to announce the winners of that event right here, right now, live. All right. Yeah. So yeah, all right. So this was the interface of our treasure hunt. We got more than 150 players who played the hunt, and at the end of the day, 20 of them were able to complete it. So I'm thinking, why not just let's check the leaderboard and see who all are the winners. Okay. So in the first place, we have Pratyush. There were a total of 14 levels in the hunt, and Pratyush was able to complete all the levels in the minimum amount of time. So he's our first winner. He gets the first prize. Congratulations, Pratyush. As first runner-up, we have Harish. Harish also was also able to like solve all the successfully solve all the levels. And the third prize, or the second runner-up, it goes to Subbalakshmi. So all of them were able to successfully complete the treasure hunt in the minimum amount of time. Congratulations to all of you. We are going to reach you over the contact details you have provided and distribute you your prizes. And I just want to say that in case anybody else wants to like still play the hunt, it is still open. The website is still up. You won't be getting any prizes now because the competition is officially over. But in case you want to play, you can go ahead, come to this website, indiasciencefestival.org, and give it a shot. All right. So congratulations to all the winners for the today's model making event. We have got like almost all our participants who have joined us in this webinar. So we can officially kick off the event. Let's begin, guys. All right. So before we launch the event, before we kickstart it, I just want to give you a basic idea like what this event is all about, and again, what are the objectives. So we asked our contestants, our players, to build a scientific model. The model can be of any kind, but the only constraint is that they could only use common household items like cardboards, newspapers, crayons, pencils, matchsticks, glue, like whatever you find lying around in your house. So that is all you have at your disposal. And using that and your ingenuity, you have to build a scientific model of some kind and impress all of us. So that was the objective of this event. The themes that we decided were these: renewable energy. We got a lot of submissions on renewable energy. Then we had environment. We had rainwater harvesting, or the concept of smart cities, which is like becoming quite popular these days. Then we had space science. This is one of the favorite topics of all the attendants across all the events. So we had to put it here. After that, we've got science experiments, and last but not least, robotics. Robotics was one category which I was afraid we won't be getting a lot of submissions in, But when we finally started getting those submissions, I was surprised. A lot of you had made robots. They were very simple ones, but nonetheless, the amount of creativity that you guys showed in that, it was like really mind blowing for me. All right. So next up, we have the rules for the participants. And now this is like just for the participants who are present here in order to like demonstrate their projects. So I want you to like concentrate, focus on this very carefully. You're going to get 1 minute to present. All right. So the amount of, because this is like a time competition and we have like got a very limited amount of time. So we would be working under a very strict time control. So I want you to be like as concise and as to the point with your presentation as possible, so that you can get the most content, the major amount of features of your project in the shortest time possible. So one thing you'll have to keep an eye out for is that. All right. So yeah, I guess most of our participants have joined. So I guess we can kickstart this competition. But before we do that, like I want to address our audience, because once again, not all of you would be here to participate. Some of you are here just as audience to enjoy all the creativity, all the scientific acumen that our contestants have shown. So right now, I would like to directly address my audience and share my experience with this competition so far. So when we opened, like when we were designing this entire event and planning to incorporate this model making competition, I should say, like personally a bit apprehensive, because the rest of the games, if you guys have taken part in them, they're like more on the fun side. You have to just like come spontaneously. You have to join in the game and you just have to like play along. So that's it. They don't require any specialized effort from your side as a contestant. But the model making competition, it was one competition where if you took part, you had to like actually put in some effort, arrange the material, build a model, and like do something skillful. So that is like one reason I wasn't sure that we would like get a lot of entries for this. But once the entries started coming in, I was really surprised by the level of, like, I should say, brilliance that our contestants had shown with their models. I have gone over the list, the images of all the models, and I can promise you one thing: if you're here as an audience, by the time this evening ends, you would be left like both impressed as well as like surprised. How can our participants, some of whom are very young in age, build something like so solid with such a short amount of time and such limited amount of materials. So that is my promise to you as the audience. And that's it. I think it's time to officially begin the competition. So I'll give a couple of minutes to our team in order to like put the first contestants in the panelists. And meanwhile, I'll take a couple of questions and answers, a couple of queries that our contestants might have for me. All right. Okay. We've got a question about camera. Yeah, so for this event, the camera would be compulsory because you'll have to present your model to all of us. So I think using the camera, it goes along with that. So yeah, that is compulsory. Uh, Before you begin about the audio, yes, you should check your audio and your camera if they're both working. Uh, yeah, when it's your turn, so I'm going to call out your name if you're a participant, and when it's your turn, our team is going to contact you. And when it's your turn, so you have to just turn on your camera, turn on your audio, and start with your presentation. So don't worry about that. We'll be interacting live for that. So yeah, I think that is all the questions that we have for now. That basically covers everything. All right. So that's it with my introduction. Without further ado, let's introduce our first contestant. So yeah, first of all, we have Khyati Polepali. Khyati, do we have you here?
Yes.
Hi, Khyati.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Are you excited to present your model to all of us?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Hi. So guys, all of you, those who are present here and listening to Khyati, I would like to tell you that Khyati is one of the youngest contestants that we have, and we were quite surprised that the submissions that we received. were from this demographic. Kathy, can you tell for all of us what's your age?
What?
How old are you, Kathy?
I'm 8 years old.
You're 8 years old. So, Kathy, I wish you all the best for your submission, for your presentation. I would be timing this, and at this point, you can please turn on your camera and start with your presentation. Are you ready, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, Kathy, the stage is all yours. We are all excited to hear you speak.
I'm not able to on my camera.
Okay, you're not able to turn on your camera.
Yes.
So, Kathy, I'll guide you with that a bit. So, if you look towards the bottom of your screen, you are going to see two icons. One of them would be for a microphone and the other one would be for a camera. Do you see any icons at the bottom of your screen?
Yes.
All right. So the video icon, coincidentally, it looks just like a video camera. I want you to click on that.
I, it
Don't
is
worry. Just
from the host it's showing.
okay. Disabled from the host side. Okay, that must be something from our end maybe. Let me just check on that for a bit with my team.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we're looking into it. In the meantime, we can just have a little bit of a chat, Kathy. Like before you officially come on the camera and demonstrate your project, why don't you take a couple of minutes and describe your project a bit to us? Like what is it all about?
It is about a rocket from ISRO.
Ah.
It
So if
is.
I'm Mhm. Yeah, Kathy, go on. If I'm not wrong, you have made a model of the rocket that is one of the rockets that ISRO launched. I think it was one that launched the GESLV satellite into the space. Am I correct, Kathy?
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember when I was going through the submissions, I saw the pictures of that model, and like it was really good to see it. Like I'm so excited because the audience will get to see it now once you turn on your screen and your camera. So I just cannot wait for it to happen.
Okay.
Or it'll just like take a moment longer. My team is working on it. Hello, Kathy. We can finally see you. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, Kathy. Hi. So yeah, you're good to go.
This is my GSLV project. This is the cone. This is the nose head. Nose
Okay.
cone. This is the top part of the GSLV. This is the payload. This is where all satellites are kept. These both are the engines. This is the fuel board. This is where the fuel is kept in all the journey. It is used. Thank you.
Wow. Very well done, Kathy. That was such a good model, such a beautiful model of a rocket. Wow, I'm like really impressed with what you've done here. Congratulations. Like you're so young and to be doing something like this, like when I was your age, I'm pretty sure I couldn't have done even anything close. So hats off to you for making that first of all and then sharing it with all of us. Thank you so much, Kathy. It was nice
Thank
to
you.
have you here. Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, that was Kathy, again, one of our youngest contestants. And I'm pretty sure right now you're as impressed as me with what the kids of a country are doing. All right. So after Kathy, we have um, Ashutosh Jha. Ashutosh, do we have you with us?
Yes.
Hi, Ashutosh. Ashutosh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how you doing? I think there might be some problem with the connection. Ashutosh, if you can hear me, can you please?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, all right. So Ashutosh, can you turn on your camera for us and like so that we can see the model that you're about to present? Hello, Ashutosh. We can all see you.
This is the model.
Wow, that looks like a rocket. Ashutosh, can you please explain a bit on what you have built here? It looks very cool, I must say.
These are the boosters.
All right.
This is the first stage.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second stage. This is
Okay.
the third. And this is the fourth. And this is the place where all satellites are kept.
Oh, wow. That is pretty cool, I must say. And it was like the best thing about your presentation was that you just like you didn't just build the model of the rocket, you were also able to explain the different stages and the different like for example where the satellite is kept and the role of the booster rockets. So it seems that like you've got a pretty good understanding of how rockets work and how they actually like launch the satellites into the space. Is it your dream to become a scientist or an astronaut?
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, I pretty much guessed that. That is like really brilliant, and I hope you grow up to fulfill your dream. And one day maybe you join ISRO and make our entire country proud. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing your model with us. It was absolutely like unbelievable to watch you build and present that. Thank you so much, Ashutosh. All right, wow, that was like really amazing. We've got a lot of contestants who have done like similarly wonderful stuff, and let's just keep calling them. All right, after Ashutosh, we have Akash Leena Maji. Akash Leena, do we have you? Hello, Akash Leena.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi, Akash Leena. Are you excited to present your model?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like I cannot wait to hear what you've built for us. Can you please describe your model?
Yes, I have built a model of rainwater harvesting.
Okay.
We all know that energy is important for us, and usually the power plant uses coal and petroleum to make energy. But this model uses a solar panel that produces energy from the sun, and it uses the and it produces the energy. And this is good because uh, we save the natural resources, and it and pollution doesn't causes. And this model also has a rainwater harvesting equipment, and when the rainwater comes down, it the collection tank the water is collected by the collection tank, and the rain and it the water goes through the pipe and goes into the filtration tank, and then it goes to the well where we all use it for watering plants and bathing, uh, bathing, washing dishes and cars. yeah, and we save the underwater level, and yeah, and this is my model.
Thank you so much. Like, it was really really a wonderful model, and it is so good to see our youngsters taking such an interest in saving the environment. The thing that you built, I can see it solves so many problems at the same time. You get to harvest rainwater, you get to conserve water, you get to address all sorts of environmental issues with that. It was so good to like have you here with us and present your model to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Wow, audience, you have to agree that like our kids are doing really good here. All right, without breaking the chain, let's call our next contestant, who is Vedang Dwivedi. Vedang, before we like call you online, I just want to address the contestants once more. So basically, when it's your turn and we call you up to the stage, what we're going to do is we're going to promote you to a panelist or a co-host. So that way you'll be able to turn on your video and your audio at that point. So you don't need to worry about that part right now. Once you're promoted, once it's your turn and you're promoted, then you can just go ahead and turn on your video, and you will be able to do that at that point. All right. So, yeah, next up we had Vedang. Vedang, do we have you with us? Hi, Vedang. I can see that you're here. Hello, Vedang. Maybe we've lost Vedang. I think we have some difficulty in reaching Vedang right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to just move on to the next contestant. Vedang like must be really excited to present his model, but right now we cannot reach him. So what we can do is we can make sure that once if and once we have him with us, so at that point we're going to call him out. So that's it. Let's move on to our next contestant. We have Animesh Pathak up next. Animesh, are you here? Yeah, so we have Animesh. Hi, Animesh. Animesh, I think your audio, we can see like your camera, but your audio, I think, is still muted. Can you please check that and say something so we can test?
हाँ सर
Huh. Okay, no, I can hear you now. Your audio is turned on as well as your video. You can go ahead with your presentation. Wow, that looks something really interesting. Is that a windmill?
yes sir my model theme is renewable energy so my model is wind energy or wind power is the use of wind to provide mechanical power through wind turbines to turn electrical generator for electrical power. Wind energy is a popular renewable source of energy that has a much smaller impact on the environment compared to burning fossil fuels. सर हो गया खत्म.
Thank you. Thank you, Animesh. That was a really good thought. I'm so excited that we're getting so many models in the renewable energy theme, because that is genuinely one of the most pressing demands of our time. Like our environment right now, with what we're doing with it, it's going crazy, and we need stuff like this. But more than that, we need scientific thinking that leads people, especially our young kids, our younger generation, to be able to like figure this stuff out and build something like this, like in order to in order for them to be able to grow up and then go into the fields where they can actually put these models into action. So like the thing that like excites me the most is that these models they definitely are going to serve a higher purpose in terms of guiding youngsters towards the future where we can actually end up saving our environment. So it was very good to have you here. Thank you so much. All
Thank you,
right,
sir.
let's move on to our next participant. So after that we have Riyansh Polepali. Riyansh, are you with us?
Yes, sir. I'm.
Hi Riyansh.
Hello, sir.
Are you excited to present your model?
Sir, can you repeat again?
Yeah, are you excited? I asked, are you
Yes.
excited to present your model?
Yes, sir. I'm very
It looks
excited
like
to.
that. We can all see you. So just go ahead and start your presentation. We are all waiting.
Okay. This model, which I made, is used to maintain social distancing. This is called the social distancing maker. For example, you're going to a school and you are very eager to meet your old friends or your school friends or your teachers, and they just rush into you. This, if they cross your boundary of 1 meter, then this will set off an alarm which will trigger, which will help us know that he's crossing our boundaries and we have to make social distancing. This is very useful for the children which are very eager to meet other children as they don't know the risk of the current coronavirus. This will help all elders, the children, and the small children who are very eager to meet their friends. This was made using an old remote and few other electronic devices such as a buzzer. And I have used an old soap dishwasher to set it in, to fit it
All
in.
right.
And if anybody comes in 1 meter radius, then it will set off an alarm. For example, it will set off an alarm within a meter radius.
Wow.
That's all.
That is really great. I mean, like we all are locked down at our homes. That is why we had to do this competition over a Zoom call. And it is all because of COVID. And like the best thing to fight COVID is social distancing. And you have made something that is like really helpful. It has got a lot of practical applications. Matlab, in that sense, I'm pretty sure that it's not just a model, it goes well beyond. It can actually be like implemented and into an actual device and sold at markets and hospitals. This would be so useful to our general public. Very well done.
Thank you,
Bravo.
sir.
I must say this is like so impressive to see like our young Turks thinking in terms of the situation that they are facing and building practical stuff like this. Wow, really well done. Thank you
Thank
so
you, sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Next up. Okay, so I have to make this announcement. We're getting a lot of messages from our participants over the chat, and a lot of people like are quite worried if they are going to get their turn to speak or not. A couple of people have also missed their turns because they weren't able to turn on the camera or their audio within time. So, guys, once again, like you do not need to worry at all. If you have made a model and if you have given us a submission, you will get a chance to speak. So there's absolutely no need to worry. If you like your turn got skipped, our team will reach out to you and you'll get a chance later on. But either way, we are going to call you on stage and you are going to get to present your model today. So absolutely no need to worry. Right. So that's it. Let's call on our next contestant. We have Aditya Jain with us next. Aditya, are you here with us? Hi Aditya, if you're here with us, please speak something.
Sir, it's Gautam Mishra.
Gautam, I see that your turn is after a couple of other people. So I request you to please like wait in the queue and like
Okay,
once
sir.
we get to you, I'll call you on stage. All right, Gautam.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So right now we have Aditya. Aditya, if you're here with us, please say something. Once again, I think there's some like connection problem with Aditya's connection. If we get him again, if we are able to successfully connect with him, we are going to call him on later. So Aditya, if you can hear me, you don't need to worry about your turn. It's not going to get skipped. I promise we'll call you. All right. After that, we have got Namai Chandra. Namai, are you here with us?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Namai.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing today?
Sir, I'm fine, and I hope, wish, and pray that you and your loved ones are also safe in this pandemic time.
Definitely. Thank you so much, man, for your wishes. I hope the same and wish the same thing for you. But right now, we cannot like wait to see your model. Let's
Yes, sir.
start.
Surely. Sir, just wait.
Sure, sure. Please take your time to adjust your camera and everything.
Sir,
That's
so
okay.
this is my model, the smart holographic display, and I hope you can see the text also and my hand behind it. So this text is it's in the form of a hologram. And so now I think I should start with the presentation. So first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I, Namai, would like to introduce my model, the smart holographic display, under the category of science experiments. People all across the world and all ages, they are fascinated by Marvel. And this inspiration of mine is from the Iron Man's armor and the holographic technology behind it. It can be attached to spectacles or also a zero power setup like this one, and you can wear it. So it displays aspects like day, time, date, temperature, and with some modifications, it can also display notifications. And it has other uses which I'll come to in the end. It has also a temperature sensor that refreshes frequently. And on a single charge from a micro USB cable, which is a universal cable, it can last up to 10 hours and 10 weeks on standby. It is made from household items, and the electronics that's inside it, it's made from uh, an old mobile keypad phone, which is e-junk. And uh, like coping up with that is also a really important thing which it utilizes. And I also have designed a special charging case, this. And this actually truly helps in the spirit of Atmanirbhar and digital India. And the principle behind it is that it works on the reflection of light inside a glass prism with some modifications. So yeah,
Wow. Namai, how old are you?
I'm 14.
I don't even know what to say. Like, I guess I'm curious. How did your interest in like holographic technology and like this stuff? How did you develop an interest in this? Was it purely because of watching Marvel movies?
Yeah, that was purely because of moving Marvel and all. My inspiration also, that, as I mentioned in the write-up, it's purely from Iron Man's faceplate and all, and the hologram, and that's basically what I want to make.
Wow. Like virtually every person your age is in love with Marvel movies, but I don't know anybody else who like takes that as an inspiration and then does something like that, like this with their interest. So kudos, very well done, and like
And
it was
so
one of.
here
Uh-huh.
I shot this video just a few moments ago, and you
Okay.
can clearly see the time and all, and my hand also behind it. So this is like totally holographic, and it's
Wow.
nothing like there's no
Okay.
Photoshop involved in
Can you
this.
can you show that to me once again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let me- Uh, this hologram, and I am waving my hand just few moments before,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
So that hologram, like, okay, wow, that does like it looks like it really works.
yeah, yes, as you can
Uh-huh.
see. I'm not zoomed it in, but if you actually
Mm-hmm.
focus from a human eye, then it
Right,
actually
right.
catches.
I right.
And
I understand like because of that camera lens, it's a bit fuzzy and like a bit unfocused right now. But if you were actually wearing it on your eyes, the image would is going to be
yeah,
crystal clear. Like I can see clearly see that much from this video you've shared.
yeah.
Wow, that is like really amazing. Congratulations for having done something like this. Um,
Thank you, sir.
like I'm wondering, there must be a lot of avenues that you can pursue. Maybe you'll research something, research and come up with something, other science fairs and stuff like that, other events that are being organized like all over India, where you can present this model and like take it up even further. Because I can like clearly see that a lot of scientists and all, especially from a technology perspective, would be interested in this. Either we've got a bright future in front of you. Thank you so much for being a part of ISMO.
Thank
Very
you.
well
And
done.
sir, I also have a
Uh-huh.
YouTube channel in which I've posted a dedicated video for this,
Mhm.
explaining how I've made it, because
All
I
right.
found this competition as a really nice opportunity to
I
make
understand.
something. So
You can
I'll also leave a
you,
link maybe in the chat.
you can share your YouTube's link with us. We'll see if we can like promote it over our social media channels. That would be a very good opportunity for you. But very well done either way. Thank you so
Sure,
much.
sir. Thank you.
All right. After Namai, we have Ayush Kumar Sharma. Ayush, are you with us? Hello, Ayush. If you are with us, please say something. Or please turn on your camera. We see we've got Ayush in the panelists. So, Ayush, if you are able to listen to me, can you please check your mic and your camera? Maybe there's some problem with that. So, guys, we aren't able to successfully connect to Ayush as of right now. Wait a second. Okay, yeah. So I just received a message from him. He says that he's reconnected. Ayush, if you're here with us, yeah, you can present your model now. But you have to say something. Okay. So that message it wasn't from Ayush, it was from Aditya. Aditya, yeah. Let me see. Okay, Aditya, if you're here and if you can turn on your camera, please go ahead. Like it's only fair. You missed your turn, so let's give you a chance right now. Hi, Aditya.
Hi, sir.
Hello.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can you,
We can
sir?
see you and hear you as well. Please go ahead.
Okay, okay, sir. Sir, I have made a solar cooker, which is made from cardboard, polythene, a cling film, and aluminium foil. Basically, this is a shoebox around which I have wrapped black polythene because black color absorbs the most amount of heat, and the inner side of the shoebox is covered with aluminium foil, so the sun rays can reflect from the inner side and go on the food item. And then here over here there is a cling film which is transparent to hold the food item. um, and basically this solar cooker will convert the light energy to heat energy of the sun.
Wow, that is really good. It's also practical purpose, and in order to be able to build something like that, you sure had to had some scientific understanding of how heat transfer works. So very well done in putting your understanding
Yes.
to a practical use. It was a really good model.
Sir,
Uh-huh.
there is also a diagrammatic representation of its working.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see. We all can see. Okay. So I can see that there are sun rays that are coming in. The aluminum foil is reflecting that into the cooker. The black outside coating it is like helping to retain that heat, and that is basically the three
Yes, sir.
principles on which the entire thing is working.
Yes, sir.
Wow, you've shown some truly good understanding of some like very heavy scientific principles and use that to build something. Kudos to you, man. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
taking
sir.
a part in this, Mo. All right.
Thank you, sir.
So after that, we are going to go ahead and call Sonali. Sonali, are you here with us? Hi, Sonali. Sonali, you can see you, but I think there's some problem with your audio. Can you please check your mic once? Sonali, no, we cannot hear you speak.
Sir, this is my rainwater harvesting model.
Yeah, you're audible now.
Sir, that is house that rainwater harvesting, rain will come to house, then tank, rainwater harvesting, filtering, then well, then garden, then all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, that much.
Sonali, can you like show us the model once again? It was
Yes,
very
sir.
intriguing, but I didn't get to have a like good look at it.
Yes, sir.
I want to see it once more. Right. Okay, so on the right side, you've got the water collection tank, if I'm not wrong, right? The water from the rooftop is going into that and then getting collected in the tank below. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I understand it now. That is some really impressive stuff, like right there. Have you used cardboards and stuff in order to make it? Like, what is the material that is being used here?
Yes, sir.
All right. The base, I guess, is from a thermocol sheet, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. That's a really great model. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thanks, sir.
By the way, can I ask you, like, how young are you?
Sir, my age is 14 and I'm studying in standard 9.
Very well done. Like, it is so impressive to see young people doing such amazing stuff. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for participating in ISPO model making competition. All right.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
So, all right. After that, we have Sanket. Sanket, are you here with us?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Sanket.
Hello.
So, are you excited to present your model?
Yes.
Okay, how old are you?
14-year-old. I am a 14-year-old.
Okay, so good luck. We cannot wait to see what you've got for us today. We can start.
Okay. My project name is home automation. In this project, I use uh, I use Arduino kit and
Mhm.
first sensor is motion sensor. Motion sensor are detect motion of man and detect any living thing. And second sensor is humidity and temperature sensor. This sensor detect humidity and temperature in the house. And third sensor is gas sensor. This gas sensor are measured to the leakage of gas in house. And third and the fourth is smart device. All devices are connected to the smart device. This is my project. I use in this project I use motion sensor, temperature and humidity sensor, gas sensor, and Arduino kit or relay board to manage all the things. With their controls in with their application are you control this lights light on, lights off, light on, lights off. Thank you.
All right. I'm so sorry. I think my mic got muted for a second there. I wanted to have a chat with Sanket, but I think he turned off his video. So I didn't get to do that. But the thing that amazed me about this project was, hi Sanket, we have with you once again. So yeah, Sanket, do you know I heard the first time I heard about Arduino, I was like maybe 20, 21 years of age, I think. And you're not like you're around half of that age and you're doing such wonderful things that require such complex circuitry. So bravo, first of all, like very well done. uh, this was like uh, one of the more, I would say, well built projects that we had today. And
That's
once
also
again, great
important
stuff,
as well.
man. Thank you so much.
It's a need of today's life.
Definitely it is. Definitely it is. Like the models that I like the most in this competition or that are impressing me the most are the ones that are solving some practical problem, right? So if you are addressing some issue that the people are currently facing, so automatically it shows that like you have got that understanding of like the world around you, and you've got that like your senses attuned in order to be able to perceive the problems that are plaguing us, and in order to find some like practical solutions to them. So that is like very impressive, very well done at such a young age. Thank you so much for participating. All right. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
So after Sanket, we have Gautam. Gautam has been waiting with us for a long time now. Gautam, it's your turn finally. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Gautam. So please turn on your camera. I cannot wait to see what you have got to present for us today.
Yes, sir.
Hi. Yeah, I can see you and hear you as well. Please go ahead.
This is my model of smart city.
Mhm.
Here we use wind power and solar panels. So just wait a second.
Sure.
Here we use wind power to generate electricity
Mhm.
and solar panels so that it can reduce the use of petroleum. And here we use electric cars. It makes it helps to environment.
Mhm.
And we have water treatment plants which treat our water, and it is made up of completely cardboard and waste papers and
Mhm.
matchsticks. That's it, sir.
Wow, that looks like one of the most well-built models here. It's got a great design, and I think it's got all the essential features that would should be there in a smart city, right?
Yes, sir.
Including the treatment plants as well. Very well done. Like this was really impressive. Can we see you once again, Gautam? Hi.
Yes, sir.
So, that was a great model. Thank you so much for taking part in the competition. I hope you get to like realize your vision someday, and that model exists in reality. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye. After Gautam, we have Sonali. Sonali, do we have you? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, we were done with Sonali. She got her turn before. Aditya, all right. We also got to hear from Aditya. After that, we have got Jay Karthika. Jay Karthik, are you here? Hi, Karthik. If you're here, can you please turn on your camera and your mic?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I cannot see you yet. Okay, yeah, you're visible now.
One minute, sir.
Sure, sure. Please take your time. Yeah, we can see you, and this time your camera is the right way up. You can go ahead and start with the presentation if you're comfortable.
And I'm going to explain about the windmill power. It requires motor, wire, battery, LED bulb. Through the wind, the light is on by the getting the electric power.
Okay, okay, I get it. So would the entire house's electricity need be supported by the windmill that is directly connected into
Yes,
the
sir.
electrical circuitry of the house?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that is really good. I guess like if something like this is implemented in the real life, then we won't have to like run power lines in our cities and in our towns, and every house can be self-sustained with something like this, right? Wind powered energy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is really good, really impressive. Thank you so much for presenting your model.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's move on. After that, we have S.H. Sahana. Do we have you? Hi, I think we can hear you, but your camera is not still on. Yeah, now we can see you. Hi.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
This is Volcano.
Mhm.
I'm going to explain how the volcano bursts. For this, we need color powders, salt, baking soda, vim, and vinegar. First, we have to add everything. It starts bursting.
Yeah, I can see the explosion. Yeah. Yeah, I can see all the magma and the lava that's coming out. That's a really accurate model of an actual volcano. Yeah, that's really
Then I'm
nice.
going to show how the volcano inside it will be.
Okay. Okay, so this is the inside of the volcano. Yeah, I see it. All right, thank you so much, Sana, for presenting a model. It was really accurate model of a volcano. We got to see the outside, the
Thank you,
working
sir.
as well as the inside. Okay. Do you have something else to show us? All right,
No,
all
sir.
right. That's really good. Actually, your camera turned there for a second, so I thought. But thank you so much for participating. This was a really good model. Thank you, Sana.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
After Sana, guys, we're going to be a little bit strict with the time control now because we haven't got a lot of time left and the submissions are still considerable. So without further ado, let's call on our next contestant, who is Maya. Maya, are you here?
Yes, sir, I am.
Hi, Maya. You get 1 minute. Please start with the presentation. I hope you
Could
are
you see
doing
me
well.
and hear me?
Yeah, both of those things are true. Your video as well as your audio is working fine.
All right, so this is my model. And
Mm-hmm.
as you can see, I've made the model of the school. And
Okay.
schools usually use up to like 13 liters, or rather 13,000 liters of water per day for hand wash, toilet, and the garden. So I found a way to use it recycled. So the water that goes into the hand wash goes to a purification tank, which is purely, natural, made of sands, pebbles, and everything. And that goes to the toilet. And the water that is not used by the toilet goes to the garden. And from there, an underground tank again purifies the water and sends it back for hand wash. So this can also be turned into a rainwater harvesting by, emptying up the pipelines till the garden and using it as a rainwater harvesting pit.
So let me just show you how the model works.
Wow. Okay.
So now the motor's turned on and you can just see the water coming down. Could you see it?
Yeah, I can.
The water dripping. And here's it. The water's coming and it flows directly into the garden.
All right.
That's through the toilet, of course. And then it again recycles and comes directly to the hand wash. So this makes it a bit judicial use of water, which is what we need now. So we talk of rainwater harvesting and everything, and we actually plan. The government has rules for that and laws, but following this in schools would help reduction of water and water bills drastically, like 30 or 40%, which could be used for betterment of the society and the school at large.
Definitely, Maya. That was like not only your model was one of the most like well built, but you were also able to explain it to us with a good command over the things that you were explaining. So very well done, I would say. Thank you, Maya.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Next up, we have after Maya, Pragya Pandey. Pragya, do we have you? Hi. Good evening, Pragya. Let's see your presentation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here is my presentations model. First, cities provides open platform experimental facilities. In my model, due to installations of the windmills, the major advantage we get water-free electricity, wind power. Windmills also creates jobs, which creates less employment. Now factory decreases unemployment. In present time, transportations is much usable. So the problem which occurs in our daily life is traffic jam. Then the help of overbridge, it's become less. Solar application such as solar street lights, etc., providing a clean and green living environment in these smart cities. We cannot imagine our country educated without schools. It brings to smarts, learn basic skills or provide knowledge to our society. Thank you so much.
Wow. I hope all of us like get to live in a city like that one day. Very well done. Thank you so much for taking part. All right. Bye. After that, we have Adya Tripathi. Adya, do we have you with us?
Am I audible and visible?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, we can see you as well as hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My today's I call my model COVID Corona Warrior Purifier because first of all, I live in Delhi NCR, so the pollution level is very high generally. So first, what I've made is using a old container. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, using an old container, I have made this. So first I have put, using an old can, I have made a fan and a broken clock. I took the motor. So it sucks the air. So its function is that it sucks the air and it gives purified air from back. How? I'm going to explain. First, I have put a mask so it can purify the air. Second, I have put a place. I have placed a container which contain cotton pads which have absorbed sanitizer, you know. So it can also be used as a spray sanitizer and like it works if it is visible.
There it is.
So you can you hear the voice?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so it's giving air over here and it is sanitized air. So if you put in a room, it will sanitize the room within an amount of time. The third function it can do, you can take a carton box, an old carton box, and you can cut it of the size of this container, the radius of this container. And what you can do is you can attach this over here and then switch it on. Then the parcels and the grocery items which we generally have, and we take like 3 days and 4 days to just keep it there.
I
But
understand.
you can just put it inside this container and switch this on. So it will create a chamber which can sanitize the things inside what it is, and you can even customize it like carton box we all
I
have in our
understand.
home.
Ade, I'm so sorry. I'll have to interrupt you right now. We got a pretty good gist of the model that you have made, and I must say it is one of the most impressive and like one of the best models that we saw today. It's also practical purpose of the COVID situation that we are all facing. I wish I could like hear more about you, but we are under very strict time control. But thank you so
Yeah,
much for
sure.
presenting.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adya. After Adya, we have got Vedang. Vedang got his turn skipped, I guess, earlier on. Vedang, are you here with us now? Okay, we are still aren't able to like establish a connection with Vedang, so we'll move on. Next up, we have Sethu Kumar P. Sethu Kumar, are you here? I'll give you a couple of seconds more. If your camera and mic is not turned on, you can do them. All right, I think Sethu isn't here. Then we've got Yog Indra Enya. Yogendra, are you here?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Okay. Hi. Yeah, I can see you. All right, you can go ahead and start your presentation.
This is my presentation, and this is a biogas plant, and this is working model actually, and this is eco-friendly. It is produced when organic matter such as food and animal waste are dumped into this container, and it breaks down the microorganism in the presence of in the absence of oxygen. Sorry, and by the process of anaerobic digestion, the microbes get damaged, and it forms as a gas. And this is the kind of renewable energy, and this is clean as well as a source of energy. This can curb the greenhouse effect, and this is lower in methane emission by capturing this harmful gas, and it can be used as a fuel for cooking, etc. And this this reduces soil and water pollution as well as this can be used as organic fertilizer, and it's very simple and low at cost in technology, and encourages a circular economy. Healthy cooking alternative for developing areas, because LPG is getting more and more rated due to corona, as well as corona. Without corona, the LPG is getting very much rated, so we can use this kind of biogases for cooking, and I'll show you how this works. And I have introduced glucose tube here, and this gas is get sucked in this syringe, and I'll show you it works. I hope you can see it.
Yeah, it is visible.
I hope you can see it, sir.
Yeah, I can. Not the one that you're holding in your hand. Yeah, now I can see it. All right.
Sir, can you see it, sir?
I can see it now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it, but you'll have to explain it a bit more.
And I feel this is not as dangerous as we think. And it should be done with extreme caution. And this can be stored for many days.
Okay.
For normal day, we can store for 40 liters actually. And the formula here uses microbes infused in this. And here microbes get infused in this tube, and the gas produced then gets lighted here.
Okay, I get
it. Can be used for cooking.
I understand. Another model with like good practical application. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Yes, sir.
But it was a bit scary for a moment there when you lit that matchstick, I guess. So please be careful with that. All right. But thank you so much for taking part. All right. Hope you have a great day. Bye. Okay. I see that Vedang is already turned on his camera. Hi, Vedang.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you're finally here. We have been like waiting on you for a long time. You skipped your turn twice. But I'm so happy to see you finally presenting your topic. You can go ahead and start.
Sir, I have prepared the model on the solar torch, which is based on renewable energy. The solar
Okay.
torch has an inbuilt solar panel and can be charged by the sun. It has a battery which is connected to the
Vedang, I think you're breaking up. There's some problem with your connection. I cannot hear you. Vedang, I'm so sorry. We cannot see or hear you. I think you're still going on with the presentation, but I'm gonna have to put you on hold. All right. If you're able to like establish a connection successfully with you, I promise we will call you. So don't worry. But do check your network connection. Maybe try with a different internet, your hotspot or something, or a different Wi-Fi, and maybe you'll be able to like successfully connect with us. All right, Devang. Next up,
solar
we
panel and
no, it's not working. Okay. After Vedang, we have just give me a sec, guys. Satya Ruba S. Satya, do we have you here?
Sir,
Hi,
can you see me, sir?
Satya. Hi,
Hi,
Satya. How
sir.
are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you, sir. How are you doing?
You can see I'm doing great. Like I'm having so
Yeah.
much fun watching all of you present your models.
Yes, sir.
But right now it's your turn. So
Yes, sir.
without waiting any further, go ahead, take up the stage.
Sir, I need to share a screen, sir. And
Okay. Let me
give
see
me
if
a
we can
second.
arrange that. All right.
Sir,
I
can you
think,
able to see my presentation?
yeah. All of us like can see your screen, your presentation. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. My project is a construction of model with polyethylene thermoplate bottles. Instead of bricks, I'm using these bottles. And instead of fine aggregate, I'm using a copper slag.
All right.
This is the first step, sir. First, I'm in the PET bottles, I'm filling up a mortar. Mortar is usually made up of water, fine aggregate, and cement. Instead of fine aggregate, that is a reverse sand, I'm using a copper slag. This copper slag is obtained from a sterlite industry Tuticorin. Though the industry is closed. Excuse me.
Yeah, Vedang, your camera and audio are both on. I request you to turn them off for now. I'm going to call you up next and then you can turn them on. All right. Right
Okay,
now,
sir.
let's continue with our current presentation.
Yes, sir. Though the
Yeah.
sterlite industry was closed in 2016, but the industry is when the industry has produced most of the copper slags per year, it has been nearly produced 5,000 million ton. We made a use of it, sir. By you, first step is to fill the mortar in the bottles to avoid crushing, and then to compact. You may see in the second picture the compacting. Using this compacting, it is done for a strengthening purpose. So this is a leveling, and this is the final. We need to put a holes on a bottles so that the bottles can stick to the mortar firmly, and it will not fall down. This is my final view of our project, sir.
I understand. What all for what all construction purposes can these PET bottles within this
Sir,
framework be used for construction of
sir,
roads, right?
this is as this is
Okay.
not a fire resistant.
Mm-hmm.
We can use it for a temporary where there is no load, like we can use it for a compound wall.
I understand.
Then
We've gotten a pretty good gist of your project, but right now, since we are short in time and your 1 minute is up, But still, thank you so much for presenting. All right.
Thank you,
It was
sir.
really good to hear from you. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
taking
sir.
part.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Bye.
Bye,
So,
sir.
next up we have. Yeah. Next up we have Yash Mishra.
Yes, sir.
Yash, the answer to your question is now. You are asking us now. Well, it's your turn to present.
Yes, sir.
So the stage is all yours, man. Go ahead. Good luck.
Hello, sir.
Hi, yeah, we can all see you.
My name is Mishra. I am from Ajmer. I am an IT engineer. So here is my presenting my model. So this is my model. This is a Arduino UNO R3 clone model, and this is a Bluetooth, and I am making this a boat which has they have propeller and they have DC motors, and this is a module driver module, and this is a battery. So they have lack of resources, so I am using the power from my laptop. So I am this on my laptop. So this on this Arduino, and so this battery is connected. So you can see my mobile screen.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, now it's perfectly visible. Just shift it a bit to the right, I guess, to your right. Now it is completely in the frame. Please go on.
You can see my mobile. I am making this app. So going to Bluetooth.
Okay.
And connected.
Okay.
So this is a command based boat. So I am saying the go, then this is motor is on, and saying is stop, this motor is stop. So let's go. Go. So you can see.
Oh, nice.
Go. So this connection is something loose. So stop. Stop.
That is.
Stop. So this is stop.
Yeah, it often happens like under high pressure situations, like when you're giving a presentation or something, often like a couple of connections, they would come loose and like one of the functions might not perform well. But like that said, we got a pretty good gist of your project, and it is like quite an advanced thing. You're like using Arduino for controlling. Yes, you're weak. Definitely with voice commands. So really well done. All right.
So the sir, some connections are loose. I am not.
Yeah.
Sir, this is sir.
I understand. Like, there's absolutely no need to take pressure. We were like able to like get a like overall gist of your project, and I'm pretty sure it is working. There might be a couple of connections loose, but that is like perfectly okay. It had to be a working model, and it mostly worked. So like from my side, it is like perfectly good to go what you showed us. All right. So no need to take any pressure. It was a good presentation that you gave us, that you shared with us, and thank you so much for participating. All right.
Thank you.
Sure. Bye. Okay. Next up, we have Sangvi. Sangvi, are you here with us?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Sangvi. How do you do?
Can you hear my voice, sir?
Yeah, definitely, I can hear your voice, although I cannot see you. So you'll have to turn on your camera, please. Yeah, now I can see you. All right, go ahead with your presentation.
So this is my presentation.
Okay.
I would use to prepare this with waste papers and cardboard. We can save the environment to to stop pollution, grow plants, ride a cycle, save animals, put the dust in a bin, cross the road carefully to save our environment with better. This is Earth. 7 wonders of the world. That's all, sir.
Yeah, all right. Your 1 minute was also exactly up. Well, that was a really great model. Thank you so much for participating. All right. Bye, Sangvi. Okay, after Sangvi, we have S. Madhumita. Madhumita, are you here with us? Yeah, hi Madhumita, you're audible, but I cannot see you. So please turn on your camera. Madhumita? All right, yeah, I can see you now. Please go ahead and start your presentation. Madhumita, you're not audible. I think you're speaking something, but there must be some problem with the microphone. I cannot hear what you're saying.
Now it is audible, sir?
Yeah, it is completely audible now, Madhumita. Your time has started. Please start your presentation.
Yeah, sir. In this chill climate, a warm welcome to our adult present here. It's my pleasure to introduce myself to everybody. I'm S. Madhumita, currently pursuing BTech for Technology in Kesan College of Technology. My project is Farm Park. Before entering into my project, I would like to say what is the purpose of my project? Even though India stands second in agriculture, 25,000 people are dying daily due to starvation. So, as a youngster, it's our duty to save 25,000 people. Here is my project to save them. Yeah, farm park. In India, 101 national parks are there. Instead of growing useless grasses and etc., we can grow useful fruit plant, vegetable plant, or crop plant. It can save more than 25,000 people. Yeah, I will show you. Yeah, here is a fruit area where fruits are cultivated. Here is a vegetable area where vegetables are cultivated. Yeah, here is a cattle area where dungs are converted into methane gas, which is used for canteen. And rainwater is harvested, which is used for water plants. And here is a area where organic vegetables, fruits, and seeds and plantlets are sold. And to reduce air pollution, bullcock is used. And meanwhile, children can also spend their time by playing here.
All right.
And yeah, I can show them. Yeah, these lights are due to solar energy, getting a solar energy power, and they are glowing bright. So, my kind request to you all is at least plant a tree in your lifetime, which can change the future generation. Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madhumita. I've got to say, you're one of our most eloquent speakers, and you've built a smart city of the future, definitely. And the thing that I like the most about your smart city is the name that you've given to it, Farm Park. So, like that is a perfectly apt name for a model like this. And thank you so much for taking part. All right, it was like really nice to have you here. Bye, Madhumita.
You're doing a good job, sir.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm here for you people. Hosting this event is so much fun, and like, thank you for the compliment. Yes. All right. Okay. So after Madhumita, we've got two more entries. First up, we have Ankur007.yadav@gmail.com. I'm not kidding about this. Ankur didn't submit his name to us, just his email ID. So Ankur007, are you here?
Hello.
Hi, Ankur.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible. First of all, like, I request you to introduce yourself. What is your full name, and why didn't you include that in your submission?
Yes, yes, sir. Can you see me, sir?
I cannot see you actually, just hear you. So you'll have to check your camera once.
Okay. So my name is Ankur Yadav, sir. I am doing PG in history from Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. And
Okay.
so there's one request. Can I speak in Hindi because I made my model especially for villages?
You can speak. Absolutely, we'd love that. Language was never a barrier. It's just that most of our contestants chose to speak in English, but you're perfectly free to speak in any language that you want. And I genuinely appreciate the gesture, the thought that you put into this, that since your target audience is people from villages. So yeah, you can use Hindi. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. सर सबसे पहले मैं बताना चाहता हूँ सर, आप जब मेरे मॉडल में पहले समझाता हूँ, उसके बाद मैं आपको ये बताऊंगा कि कौन कौन से प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करता है, और उसके बाद की पॉइंट सर। सर मेरे मॉडल का नाम है सर रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी विलेज सर। आप देख सकते हैं सर, यहाँ पर एक पवन चक्की विंड मिल है सर। इससे जो बिजली उत्पन्न होती है सर, वो पानी के लिए मोटर चलाती है सर। ये जो मोटर है, उसके बाद ये पानी जो यहाँ पर इरिगेशन के लिए अपन देख सकते हैं सर, आप इरिगेशन के लिए प्लांट्स हम लगाए रख सकते हैं। और एक यहाँ पर काउ शेड रहेगा सर, एक काउ शेड रहेगा। इससे जो गोबर आता है वो बायोडीजल बनता है, उससे खाना बनता है सर। तो ये मैंने आपको ये बता रहा हूँ सर, इस क्या बोलते हैं अपने इस मॉडल के थ्रू, कि किस तरीके से हम रिन्यूएबल सोर्सेस एनर्जी का यूज करके अच्छे से अच्छा घर चला सकते हैं एवरेज पर। सर ये बेसिकली 3 प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करता है सर। विंड मिल से जो कोल प्रोडक्शन से जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बनती है, उससे ये मतलब कम करता है। हाइड्रो पावर से जो पानी आ रहा है, उससे क्या बोलते हैं जो रिन्यूएबल सोर्सेज एनर्जी, उसे बढ़ावा मिलता है। जो बायोडीजल है सर, उससे जो गैस बनता है, उससे जो गोबर का जो उत्पादन है, जो गोबर का जो कंजम्पशन, जो डंप का प्रॉब्लम, वो सॉल्व होता है सर। हाँ सर, उसके बाद मैं आपको बताना चाह रहा हूँ की पॉइंट सर मेरे, क्या बोलते हैं मेरे प्रोजेक्ट के सर। पहला, ये हाईली एप्लीकेबल है, ये लो ऑफ कॉस्ट है, और सबसे बड़ा की पॉइंट सर कि मैंने इनमें तीन रिन्यूएबल सोर्सेज ऑफ एनर्जी के जो सोर्सेज है, उसे इंटर रिलेट किया है सर। ये मेरी सबसे नई बात है सर, क्योंकि हम इसे आपने अलग अलग उसमें देख सकते हैं मेरे जो रिन्यूएबल सोर्सेज जो मैंने आपको बताया, लेकिन इंटर रिलेट मैंने पहली बार किया है सर। ये मेरा नया इनोवेशन था सर। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
अंकुर, आपने मतलब लाइक मेरे को अभी आपका प्रेजेंटेशन सुनने के बाद ये चीज रियलाइज हो रही है, जब हम ये वर्ड यूज करते हैं स्मार्ट सिटीज, तो हमारा ध्यान सीधा ये जाता है कि बुलेट ट्रेन चल रही हैं, कनेक्टिविटी पूरी है, वाईफाई से सब कुछ कनेक्टेड है, ये सब चीजें। बट हम शायद ये भूल जाते हैं कि हमारा लाइक मोर देन हाफ ऑफ अ कंट्री गांव में बसता है, राइट, छोटे शहरों में। राइट। आई थिंक जो हमने स्मार्ट सिटीज का टॉपिक थीम इसमें डाला था, आपने ना सिर्फ उसको प्रॉपर्ली यूटिलाइज करा, बट हम लोग को एक बिल्कुल ही डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन उसका दिखाया। एंड अगर ये चीज कभी रियलाइज होता है एक्चुअल में, बिल्कुल लाइक डेफिनेटली, लाइक वेरी वेल डन। आई होप ये मॉडल जो है एग्जीक्यूशन में आए समहाउ, आपको अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिले आगे, सो दैट आप इसको आगे कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर सको, और आप इनको एक्चुअल में मतलब इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इनका कहीं पे होते हुए हम देख सकें। और अगर ये हो जाता है एक्चुअल में इम्प्लीमेंट, तो आई एम प्रीटी श्योर लाइक इतने गांव में इतने लोगों को इतनी मदद मिलेगी।
बिकॉज क्या है ना, ये बिकॉज ये हाईली एप्लीकेबल है, लो ऑफ कॉस्ट विलेजेस में स्पेशली आराम से एप्लीकेबल है सर। और मैंने इसे बनाया भी है इसी तरह के हाउस होल्ड आइटम से सर।
बहुत ही ज्यादा मतलब बेहतरीन, मैं सिर्फ इतना ही कहूंगा। थैंक यू सो मच। मैं मतलब बहुत खुश हूँ कि आपने इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करा। ऑलराइट, बाय।
Thank you so much.
So after that wonderful model from Ankur, next up we have SM Abhirami. SM Abhirami, if you can hear me, please turn on your mic and your camera so that we can see you.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, that's such a cute voice. Your camera is still not on. It is on now. SM Abhirami, before you like start your presentation, would you like to introduce yourself a bit? Like, what's your name? Which standard are you in? Anything you'd like to tell us about yourself?
Yes, sir.
Actually, I cannot see you. I can see your model, but you're not in the frame. But I guess that is totally okay as long as we can see your model. That would be good.
Sir, I am SM Abhirami, studying grade 8 in AVS Matriculation School.
Okay.
Now I'm going to explain about solar power. So, solar panel, connecting wire, battery, switch, fan. These are the things I am going to use.
Okay.
With the help of sunlight, the electric power is getting to the storage battery. The battery is charging while the switch is on. The fan will rotate.
Okay. Wow.
Sir, I have done another one project, sir.
Okay.
Sir, this is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is process in green plant and certain other organisms transform light energy into chemical energy. During photosynthesis in green plants, light energy is captured and is used to convert water, minerals, carbon dioxide into oxygen and rich in organic compounds. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, SM Abhirami. It was a really good project, very wonderfully done, and you're so young. It was really good to have you here. All right.
Thank you, sir.
You have a great day. Bye.
Bye, sir.
All right. Then we have S Sudarshan. S Sudarshan, do we have you? I guess we haven't been able in successfully establishing a connection with S Sudarshan. Let me just check if we have got some more contestants. Sundar S. Do we have Sundar S?
Yes, sir, I am
Yeah.
here.
Sundar, your voice is breaking up actually, and we haven't got a lot of time. So if you can check your connection once and
Sir, now you hear my voice?
yeah, I can hear your voice. I request you to turn on your camera, please.
Sir, now you can see me?
No, actually, I still cannot see you.
Sir, now?
No, not yet. I can see you now. Okay. Sundar, go ahead, please.
Sir, today technology is more important, I think. But nowadays we want agriculture is more important because due to the more technologies, agriculture is going down, I think. So the most important one is rainwater harvesting, and the trees are cutted and the trees are burnt in the forest fire, I think. So how can we reduce this? Now we can see the rainwater harvesting. Now you can see.
It is visible on your camera.
You can see my
Yeah, I can.
harvesting,
Please
sir.
go ahead. Yeah, I can.
It is done by cardboard and some other plastic bottles. You see, here the water is full of dirty water is here. Now, 1 minute, please, sir. Now, when the rain is coming, the water is stored here. After then, due to the pipe, it will go to the filtration tank. You can see the water is dropping here. Now it is filtrated.
Okay.
You can see, sir. Now it is filtrated,
it is
and drop by
visible.
drop it is into the plastic bottle. That means it is the filtration tank. It is made up of simple substances. I use charcoal and sand and some other metals here.
That
See,
is
this is the drip irrigation.
okay.
Sir, you can see that the water is drop by drop flow into the ground. You see, you can see, sir. The water is drop by drop flow into here. And this is the sprinkler irrigation. But here the so much water is wasted. But here the little water is wasted. You see, that is only one hole
I
here
see.
that the water is dropping. When I connected, you see, the fan is running and the water is sprinkled here. You can
I
see,
get
sir.
it. Yeah, definitely. Sundar, I'll have to interrupt you at this point because we are short in time. We got a very good look at your model, at your project, and it was
Okay,
really
sir.
well
Sir,
done. You used
I have
rainwater.
some other projects, sir. I want to show it.
Wait, actually, we would have been very happy to see your other projects, but we are like really short in time. It is
Sir,
already time
carbon
to wrap up.
dioxide project is very useful for the forest
I
fire. That's
understand
why.
that it is useful, Sundar, but unfortunately, like we've really run out of time at this point. I so wish that we could see all the other projects that you have made. All right. So that said, like Sundar was a last contestant. I think we have covered all, if not most, like most of the submissions, if not all of them, because we got a couple of people who had a problem with the connections and the networks.
Sir.
So,
Sir, I am left for the model presentation.
okay. What's your name?
Prashant Garg.
Let me just check. Okay, Prashant, I'm like so sorry. We have actually run out of time. We have got maybe some other event planned up after this. So I've talked with my team and we won't be able to incorporate you, unfortunately. Okay, what the hell, let's do it. You've got 1 minute. Please go ahead. It would be like really unfair for us to rob you of this chance. Please go ahead.
My name is Prashant Garg. I am studying in class 9th and representing my school, DPS Vadodara. I am going to show paper chromatography. Chromatography is a separation technique and used to separate the different components present in a liquid mixture. It was first introduced by a Russian scientist, Michael Sweat. So I will tell you about the chromatography. This is my chromatographic chamber. I have taken the ink. This is my Wattman filter paper strip. Now I will put a spot on it. You can see it. Now I am keeping it in my chromatographic chamber. Now the ink will rise.
Okay.
The ink will rise and then thus get separated. It is used to separate the colors in dye, pigment from natural color, drugs from blood, and it is used in forensic sciences to detect and identify trace amount of substances in the content of bladder or stomach. So the ink is rising up and finally then it will turn into like this. So we can see that 3 colors we can get: indigo color, pink color, dark blue. So this is the chromatographic chamber. Thank you.
I can see the separation very well. Yeah, I like hope you were able to say what you wanted to say about your project, and I personally got a pretty good look at it. It was really different from the other projects. It's got applications, I think, in both forensics as well as in medical sciences. Really well done. Thank you so much for being with us, and I hope we did you justice by giving you your 1 minute. All right.
Thank you, sir, for giving this me opportunity.
Sure. Thank you so much. All right. With Prashant, we have come to an end of our event. I distinctly remember that at the beginning of this competition, I made all of you a promise that by the time this competition is done, this event is done, you would be left both impressed and inspired. And thanks to our contestants, thanks to the wonderful models that they made for us, the wonderful projects that they have done in the name of science, I'm pretty sure that I was able to keep that promise that I made to you, my audience. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for witnessing this event, this model making competition, which I think best signifies the spirit of the ISMO Science Month, what we are trying to accomplish with that. This is your host Abhimanyu signing off. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead of you. Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
so much, Abhimanyu. Thank you so much. You did a wonderful job hosting the entire event, and I think everybody gained a lot out of it. So thanks so much for being a part of it.
Bye.
to everybody who's just joining us after the model making competition and its presentation, thank you for coming in to yet another day of India's largest virtual science festival. Um, India Science Festival is India's largest public celebration of science and technology, and we are here to bring the voice of science to all your homes. In our attempt at making science accessible to all, we have put together a month long festival for all of you to enjoy from the comfort of your homes, because we truly believe that science has to be available to everybody. As part of our festival, we have a bunch of events planned around the themes of space, healthcare, robotics, general science, as well as science communication. There are events for all age groups, starting from as young as 3-year-olds and above. And we have talks, panel discussions, workshops, and very interesting demonstrations lined up throughout the month of January. And now we're in the last 3 days of our festival, and we're so excited for the final 3 days. And it's great that you all could join us here. So as part of today, we have one very interesting talk followed by a very interesting panel discussion. Now, let me just quickly invite our first speaker of the day, Dr. Vasan Sambandhamurthy. Sir, could I please request you to turn on your video?
Hi. I just says you can't start your video because the host has stopped it. That's the message I get.
Right. Just 1 second, sir.
Sure, please.
Could you please check right now?
Yes, I tried to turn it on. Can you see me? Yes. There you go. Hi.
A pleasure to host India Alliance at he joined the DBT Wellcome India Trust at in 2020 and has over 20 years of professional experience in vaccine discovery and drug development. He has previously worked for major global corporations like Novartis, AstraZeneca, and Biocon. He has very graciously joined us for the festival here today to talk about the work being done by India Alliance. And sir, our audiences are very excited to hear everything that you've planned for us here today. So I think without any further delay, over to you.
A very good evening, and thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. So I'm really excited to be a part of this festival, a month-long festival. If you could just confirm whether my screen is visible.
Yes, it is, sir. Please continue.
Great. Good evening, everyone. It's a great opportunity to be a part of this month-long festival. I represent India Alliance, which is a funding agency which funds biomedical, clinical, and public health research. What I intend to do in the next 10 to 12 minutes is to walk you through about who we are, what we do, and how we influence biomedical research in India. So our sphere of action, just to give you an idea of who we are basically in existence to bring about these 4 things. First one is to build capacity in biomedical and health research. How do we do this? We take existing ecosystems within the biomedical research, strengthen them wherever needed. And if there's not one, we create one. And in this process, we also foster a lot of collaboration, both at the national level as well as international level via a plethora of schemes what we have, which I will share with you in the next couple of slides. And most importantly, very befitting to the theme of this whole India Science Festival is to make science accessible to the stakeholders, which could be students, research scholars, and the public. So our primary mission is to advance discovery and innovation to improve global health, and very appropriate now that we are going through this pandemic. So when did this journey start? So we are 12 years old into business. This started in September 2008 when 2 major funding bodies, one is Department of Biotechnology from Government of India and the Wellcome Trust from UK, decided that we need to create an agency or an organization, a public charity organization, which can really bring in the best global practices in terms of granting system, granting mechanism, and to really foster an a research atmosphere which really matches the global standards. So 2008, we started off with our flagship program called the Early, Intermediate, and Senior Career Fellowships. This is primarily to identify people who are abroad, who want to come back to India, provide them an opportunity and a mechanism to fund them really well, to come back and establish. So what we intended to do was to bring them back and establish in India. And then subsequently, 5 years later, they can become an intermediate fellow and then a senior fellow. So this program ran very well. We started this in a small scale. Around 2013, we thought that it's important to expand into clinical and public health research. As all of us realize, clinical and public health has a much larger reach and also in terms of benefit to the society. So in 2013, we replicated the same program wherein we fund early researchers, people who are in the middle of the career, as well as senior fellows. And 10 years of data really told us that we are making an impact in the society. In 2019, we said we need to expand into the next horizon, which is basically to really create an opportunity and a mechanism for institutions to work and collaborate. Why is this important? As we are going through this COVID pandemic, we really need the best of the teams across the country to work together. This has to be interdisciplinary. It has to cut across disciplines, come together and really ask and address a big question, which is of public health relevance. So in 2019, we launched a program called the Team Science Grant, which we'll talk about in the next couple of minutes, wherein we really foster interdisciplinary research with a unique component where we also encourage researchers from India to find a suitable partner abroad. It could be either Europe, US, or rest of Asia, which is really a very, very unique feature of this grant. And as we speak, we are into the 12th year of our existence. So what do we do other than funding? So we really look at 4 core areas. One is training. As all of you are here on this call, we really make it a point to do scientific training. So till date, we have trained around 3,400 PhD students by our fellows. We use a network of India Alliance fellows to go about training PhD students. We also have a very unique program called the India Science Media Fellowships, wherein we identify journalists or people who are very savvy in writing and then provide them fellowship to really promote scientific writing. So that is another important component. And we also do very active science communication. How do we do this? Like one such event where I'm participating now, we participate in a lot of international and national events wherein we convey science in a language which is appropriate to the audience as well as to the community. We do a lot of popular science talks. We also try to be very creative in terms of bringing in science with art, science with music, and the different forms of really making science very appealing to a broader audience. And we also do a lot of health awareness programs. And then publication is one important metric we use to measure the impact of our research fellows. And we encourage and insist on open access publications. And most importantly, most of the research you do in terms of publications, training, and communication should actually translate into a policy change, because that's how the society evolves and that's how the health and the best practices in global health evolve. So we are very happy to say that our fellows, via the funding we have provided, have gone on to impact several policies across the country. And we have fellows who are actively working on many more policies, which impact all the way from tobacco use to nutrition guidelines to gene therapy. And to give you a snapshot of what a program entails, right? As I mentioned to you, we have multiple programs. So wherein we provide a pathway of a career pathway. So someone who has finished a PhD and has less than 3 to 4 years of experience is eligible to get this early career fellowship. So that pretty much enables them to launch their career in India. The same holds true for public health as well as in clinical sciences. Once someone finishes 5 years of experience post PhD, they become eligible to receive the intermediate fellowship. That helps them to establish. And then people with PhD, scientists with PhD and 12 years of experience can apply for the senior fellowships. That helps them to lead. So what you could see here is we have built in a robust mechanism wherein someone with great ideas can write a competitive grant and really can make it in the cut, can actually get 15 years of funding through the 3 schemes what we have. And to give you a little bit of details around the new scheme what we launched last year, which basically takes the science and the funding opportunity beyond individual scientists. We have this program called the Team Science Grant, wherein we try to foster interdisciplinary collaborative research, which is the need of the hour. As you could see that in unprecedented speed, we have new vaccines, new diagnostics. All this was possible only because of people being able to collaborate in an interdisciplinary manner. So that is something which we really foster from this Team Science Grant. In parallel, we also have this program called the CRC, which is nothing but a virtual center, wherein we create centers of excellence across the country based on certain themes. And embedded within that is a training program to really provide an opportunity for physician scientists to get trained and then get involved in research. What is our spread? 12 years in the business. As you could see here, we have a pan-India presence. As you could see that we have fellows all across the country, north, south, east, west. Till date, we have awarded close to 430 awards. And we have fellows spread across 115 institutions across the country. This encompasses bigger, large research institutions. We have small tier institutions as well as colleges. And we also have our fellows spread across 42 cities. So you could clearly see that there is a component of diversity, which is a very important aspect for us. As you could see here, we also pay a lot of attention in terms of gender diversity. We are very happy to say that we are one of the funding agencies where 1/3 of our fellows are women scientists. And then what happens is a bulk of the researchers who get funded by us are involved in basic research. It's almost 80%. And the rest 20% are involved in clinical and public health research. And we are happy to say that almost 2/3 of our fellows hold faculty positions within India. And another 25% of awardees have joined into new institutions. So what is happening is there is a ripple effect that not that scientists go only to the established research centers, but they also go and establish and join newer institutions which are in the making. And this slide here talks about our impact and our outreach. What are the areas we fund? We are not prescriptive in terms of what are the areas we fund. Anything in the biomedical science, ecology, veterinary, it could be, except for agriculture. It could be public health, it could be immunology, stem cell biology, neuroscience, small bio, biostatistics, public health, structural biology, anything in this space, we are open to get applications as long as the applications are competitive and clearly have an element of novelty. And also in terms of, we also fund high-risk projects. So coming to the next point of one of our another main mission is to really foster collaboration among people. So that can happen within the institutions. And it's also very important that the fellows we fund get an opportunity to go and present their work in national and international symposiums and conferences. In order to enable this, we provide travel grants, various travel grants, which will enable people to go and share their findings as well as share the knowledge. And in the process, we are fostering interdisciplinary and international collaboration. So this is one of another important mechanism we use to fund researchers. And as you could see here, this is a very important program. This is in partnership with the prestigious European Molecular Biology Organization, in short called EMBO. We jointly organize training programs across India. On a given year, we do up to 4 to 6 lecture courses. The aim is to really train Indian scientists in terms of some of the nuances and skills, professional skills in research. How can we adopt the best global practices? And this really helps to hone the skills of our researchers early on as PhD students and also as postdocs. So this is again a terrific opportunity for people to get trained in some of the best practices. And most interestingly, we also collaborate across continents pretty much with our mandate. So this is a very unique program called the Africa India Mobility Fund. This basically enables collaboration between Indian and African biomedical researchers. There is a lot we can learn. There's a lot of commonality in terms of the disease burden, in terms of prevalence of certain unique diseases like malaria and TB. So what this Mobility Fund allows is for scientists from India to go and spend time in an African lab. Similarly, scientists from Africa get a chance to come to India. In the process, we are enabling a South-South collaboration. And coming on to the next mandate in terms of how do we implement and influence policies and create a robust research ecosystem within India. This is another flagship program called the EMBO Leadership Workshop Program. This again is a very prestigious program wherein we get trainers from Europe to come and conduct a face-to-face a physical meeting lasting for 4 days, wherein some of our best scientists get a chance to learn certain management skills in terms of how do you do people management, how do you set up a lab, how do you go about writing grants. So it really gives you a 360-degree development opportunity in terms of the best practices which are out there in Europe and US. And another important initiative, we realize that institutions which have many researchers, 10, 20, 30, or 50 of them, if each one of them will have to go and seek what are the opportunities and really get involved in the paperwork and the administrative necessity in terms of fulfilling a funder's requirement, an enormous amount of time is lost in this process. So what we are encouraging is to really talk to institutions to set up this research management practice, wherein we can take a trained researcher who has finished a PhD, who has spent time in the ecosystem. For whatever reasons, they don't enjoy bench research, and they really see an opportunity in fostering relationship and building teams. So it provides a terrific platform for them to really be a part of this research management initiative. We are very happy to say that next week, starting from Monday, we have our first national conference on research management. I encourage the participants here to look through our website and then join some of the sessions and really get some benefit out of this. And most importantly, we have a mandate to empower researchers. So as we spoke about in the beginning, science has to be accessible to all. And in this process, we encourage our researchers to publish in open access. There's been a lot of debate in the scientific field. Accessing journal articles are getting expensive. So what we do as a funding agency is to really sign up. We have signed up to certain international agencies wherein we make our publications open access. And we also actively encourage our fellows via multiple mechanisms and channels to involve in science communication and public engagement. As you could see here, you can see that there are a lot of enthusiastic researchers there sitting and doing a teamwork in terms of understanding. So this is again another initiative which we do. And we're very happy to say that so far we have trained more than 3,000 researchers from over 100 research institutions and teach them the nuances and basics of science communication via our workshops. And again, it's very important that since we are funded by public money, the public has every right to know what we do and how we do and what is the impact. So we again play a very important role in providing opportunities and creating platforms for our scientists as well as our fellows to go and engage with the public and make science very interesting and accessible. And we have done many such work. We are very happy to partner with Nature India, another prestigious publication house, to run a program on India Science Media Fellowship, wherein we identify certain fellows and give them money to go and build some stories around certain core themes. And this slide here talks about the overall impact of what we have done during the COVID. All of us have gone through a very difficult phase, and we continue to go through, and hopefully we'll be out of it very soon. But as a funding agency and with a network across the country, we really managed to pull in a lot of our fellows to be deeply engaged with the society, with the public, and deliver a lot of topics in terms of COVID, to deliver the right kind of science. So this is something which we have done. I will stop here, and we'll be very happy to take any questions. And I really encourage all the participants to look for India Alliance. We are on the web, we are on social media, we are on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we have our own YouTube channels of all the past events that have happened. And it's actually a wealth of knowledge in terms of what we have done in the last 10 to 12 years. And we really encourage you to look at all the workshops and the new opportunities for funding. So I will stop here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take it.
Sir, actually, we've received quite a few comments asking about the opportunities available at India Alliance. So I'm just going to tell all our attendees that we have linked the India Alliance website as well as all social media handles in the chat. So would request all our attendees to go through their website, their social media handles. They're very, very active, and you'll be able to access all the events that they have lined up throughout the course of the year on their social media as well as their website. So would encourage everybody to go and check their events out. Sir, on behalf of Team ISF, I just want to personally thank you for talking about the wonderful work being done by India Alliance. One very important thing that you left with us, that was a takeaway for me, was that if the public is funding the project, they have every right to know about what's happening in it. So that definitely is a very important factor for all public engagement institutions to know about. And in our efforts to make science more accessible to all, I think both India Science Festival and India Alliance are working towards the same thing. So it was such a pleasure having you at ISF, and we really hope that we get to work with India Alliance in the future. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. We are always open for collaborations and look for such events to be a part of it, and we can do some wonderful things. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Well, that was a short yet very, very impactful talk delivered by Dr. Vasan Sambandhamurthy, the CEO of Welcome DBT India Alliance. And I know everybody has been waiting for the next panel discussion that we have lined up. I would request all our panelists and our moderator to kindly turn their video and audio on, because we are very, very excited for the next session. Have received a bundle of messages asking about when is the panel discussion on how to become a space scientist starting, and we are very happy to tell you all that it is going to begin right away. I will now hand over the dais to Sonal, a very good friend, a fantastic science communicator and public engagement practitioner, who is going to be moderating this session and will introduce all the esteemed panelists that we have with us here today. I want to tell all our attendees that we will be reserving the audience Q&A towards the end of the session. So we'll take your questions in the last 10 to 15 minutes. If you want to ask anything to all of our panelists, make sure that you stay put till the end of the session. Sonal, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shruti, for inviting me to be a part of this exciting session. And thank you, everyone who has joined us today on your Friday evening. We hope we will make your Friday into what, we call these days Friday. Space has been a topic of fascination for many of us. And personally, for me, I remember when I was a child and used to, sleep on the terrace in summers and look at the stars and constellations. And used to fascinate me, why do you join those dots? Who lives there? What would happen in a rocket? Whatever, all these things. And the sci-fi movies just, increase the level of fascination. And today I'm very excited because the stories of all our four panelists, they are so exciting of how they have come closer to the mysteries of science and space science, and also how they are sharing it with everyone else around them, the society and the community. So without much ado, I'll just introduce them quickly. Alphabetically, we have Dr. Bidushi Bhattacharya. Dr. Bidushi is a rocket scientist who has been working in the space industry for 3 decades, including working with NASA on projects like the popular Hubble Space Telescope. She's the founder and CEO of Astropreneurs Hub, a firm focused on the growth of commercial space industry, which provides mentoring to new space startups, provides access to the International Space Station, and to conduct research, and also unique hands-on satellite workshops. Next, we have Mr. Rishabh Nakra.
who has recently finished his master's degree in physics. He has been working towards communication in astronomy from 8th standard, and now he is the founder and admin at Secrets of the Universe, which is a popular space science website and Facebook page with an international team working with him today. Next, we have Dr. Srimathy Kesan, who has moved from tourism and now to science, from science to tourism, and then tourism brought her to NASA, and then she embraced science in such an amazing way that today she's the founder and CEO of a leading science and technology incubator called SpaceKidz India. SpaceKidz India is working on the idea of borderless world and creating experiential learning in the field of space education, art, and culture. She is decorated with the ambassador status to NASA, the European Space Agency, and the Gagarin Research and Test Cosmonaut Training Center, Moscow. The last panelist we have is Mr. Shanmuga Subramanian. He is a citizen scientist and techie working in Chennai. Yes, he can build websites and apps, but he has also got himself into finding satellites and meteorites up in the mysterious sky. He made us all very proud when he helped NASA locate debris from the Chandrayaan-2 lander's crash on the lunar surface. So the stories of all of them is very exciting, and I would invite all of our panelists to tell us 5 sentences about each of them so all of you get to know about them better. So I would invite Dr. Bidushi to start first. I welcome all of you aboard. And Dr. Bidushi, please tell us 5 interesting sentences about yourself. It could be anything about your career or even your favorite food or something about space.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I love opportunities like this to talk to people about space. I, like you, Sonal, when I was a kid, would look up at the sky and just wonder about what's out there. And when I finally realized that Mars was actually a place, that planets were places you could fly to, I was completely blown away. So when I was a kid, I had pictures of galaxies and stars posted all over my bedroom. And I've been hooked since I was a child and been very fortunate to be able to go into a career where I get paid to look at the sky and to look at space and space technology. So I feel so privileged that every day when I think about my work, I am excited. I've never been bored. And what's really cool is when I tell other people what I do for a living, they also get excited because I think space has something very inspirational and natural about it. So I'm just really excited to be here and be able to share that enthusiasm. So thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya. That's really interesting. Rishabh, what would you like to tell about yourself?
Thank you so much, Sonal. So I'm a science communicator and I have recently finished my master's in physics. According to me, some of the most significant highlights or achievements of my life are building a social media platform on astronomy that has over 1 million followers. And I recently worked with Dr. Abhas Mitra. He's a famous cosmologist, and I reviewed his book, The Rise and the Fall of the Black Hole Paradigm. And I also take pride in working at the Indian Institute of Astrophysics. I did an internship over there for 2 months. And besides science communication, I love swimming, having coffee, and binge watching web series.
Binge watching is a favorite of all of us, especially in the pandemic area. Thank you, Rishabh. Next, I would call Dr. Kesan. Please tell us about your interesting journey.
I think I'm the odd man out without having any science background here. Completely from tourism and commerce background, I jumped into this very fantastic and fabulous industry called space. And, initially started off with space tourism and then went on to building satellites, the real satellites, I should say. And that too with children from the ages between 14 until 20. People thought I was crazy. But then it really happened when we built, the baby steps. We took the first baby steps of building, the balloon, the high altitude ballooning. We built about 12 of them, and then 2 suborbital satellites and 1 orbital satellite. So I think we are the only ones in the country who are doing this crazy job. So love to be here. Thank you so much for the invite. Extremely excited because I carry the moon in my name. I think probably that's why this industry has attracted me. Mati means moon in our vernacular Tamil. So that's why I'm here, I guess. Thank you, Sonal. Thank you so much for getting me onto this panel.
Thank you, Dr. Kesan. And I think you are the testimonial of what we are actually trying to talk about in this discussion. So, Shanmuga, what would you like to tell about yourself?
Yeah, I told the participants. So I have been interested in space right from my childhood itself. So I have been watching rocket launches, and when my father told me stories about how Americans landed on moon with Apollo 11 and Apollo, all those Apollo spacecraft, it got me more and more interested. So as a kid, I won't miss any rocket launch on our national television, that is Doordarshan. So that kept me interested more and more in space. And by the time I went into engineering, I choose mechanical specifically for this reason, because I can I can get to know more about space. But unfortunately, I got placed in an IT company. Though even though I'm in a mechanical engineer position, I'm into IT and I work at a 9 to 5 day job. But the interest in me kept on egging me. So I was always following what is the latest updates on space, and what are the spacecrafts that is being launched into different planets, and what is the exploration they are doing over there, like that. And at last, I think due to my interest in space, I got more interested in Chandrayaan 2. I was very eager that it would land on moon, but unfortunately it didn't. And as you all know, that once I gave a tip off to NASA, so based on the tip off, they actually found the lander, which is kind of which was kind of very exciting for me. I hope it would inspire a lot of others also in that field, I would say so. And thank you, Shruti and Sonal, for inviting me to the discussion, because I think it's a great place to share our thoughts and have some good discussion on this topic.
Thank you, Shanmuga, for this your interesting introduction. And you remind me of a line from a Bollywood song. It's called Pocket Me Rocket. So, it's like imagining you doing all the, coding for your things. And then you also have those, codes or whatever is involved in, looking at satellites and all. So that's really interesting. We'll talk more with each of you to get deeper into our topic for today, that how everyone can be a part of space science. So before that, let's take an idea of how our audience has been involved with space science so far. So we have a poll question for you. Shruti, can we have that with us on the
Yes,
screen?
launching it right away.
Okay.
We'll see a poll on our screens now. Would request everybody to please give their answers, and then we launch the results on everybody's screen too. So here goes.
It asks that, have you been a part of any of the following: a citizen science project about any science subject, a satellite building or any hands-on project related to space, an activity or a website, an active user of a website or a video channel about space science, if you like reading books about space, or none of the above, but you're keen to know about them.
Okay, very quickly going to launch the results on everybody's screen now. You're able to see the results.
Okay, so most of our audience members are book readers, website and YouTube channel users. Some of them have been involved in a citizen science project, and some of them have been a part of a hands-on activity as well. But 34% of us have not been a part of these things, but they're keen to know about them. So I'm sure our panelists can introduce that. I would also ask our audience to quickly answer something for me, and you can type your answers in the question and answer section. But what is your favorite topic in space science? It could be anything: black holes, it could be dwarf stars, anything. But what is your favorite topic? And we'll just take 30 seconds for everyone to answer. Let's see. Okay. Shruti, would I see them in the open section? So it's creation.
Just give me 1 second.
stars and creation, universe expansion. Let's see. I can see two answers by Vipul and Anusha. Thank you, Vipul and Anusha, for your answers. Do we have any more ideas coming up?
Yeah, Sonal, so why don't I just encapsulate everything that we're getting?
Sure.
Yeah. Maximum answers that we have are black holes and exoplanets. Something
Okay.
that we've received often is dark matter and dark energy.
Space bombs, somebody just
Yeah,
said.
a lot about stars and
Okay.
a bit about the Big Bang Theory,
Okay.
spaceships, interstellar missions, multiverse ideas,
Okay.
nebulas, and so on. So, do you think that gives us a fair idea
Yeah,
of our
that's a
audience?
fair idea, and that's a very diverse answer. I'm happy that it's just not black holes, because after the picture that gained the most popularity, this was like a celebrity in the field of space science. So let's know how one can indulge in space science in different ways. Dr. Kesan, I would like to ask you that you are running this organization called SpaceKidz India. What are the different ways that people can, indulge in the activities? Can you throw some light on that?
Initially, when you look at space sciences, there's not much, material in our textbooks, in our curriculum in the schools. So anything goes by personal interest of a child or interest of a parent. So there was a huge gap in that particular area. So that is where I started taking children from here to NASA, ESA, and the Russian Space Center, wherein children could have hands-on experience. Of building water rocket. It may be small, but still, the way they handle the altimeter and everything gave them a big experience and exposure to do something big. And when they got to see the real-time Apollo and the other space missions, it was like exciting for the children. From mechanical and software engineering, they started deviating into space sciences. So that was a birthplace, I should say, for all these children. So space tourism was born in India, and a lot of children started coming along with us, and I had taken them there. But then that is just one part. You just cannot have the fantasy and just throw the child, and they not continue with that. So then we moved on into building real time experiential learning by making these high altitude balloons. So we gave that real exposure to children, and these are high school students and college going students, who actually I handpicked them as a team, and we started working on this. So we started working on the electronics, and we started working on the mechanics and coding. So there was a complete thing about space in that. And moving on from building the high altitude balloons, we went on to build real time satellites. So we built a 1U satellite first, and then now, next month we have a launch. We are in the process of finishing the testing with a 3U satellite. So there is hands-on experience, because space is something that you cannot just go on reading in textbooks. You need to have that exposure in hands-on training. And of course, you need to learn about the simulations and the testing and so many things, because space is something which is very weird. People say it's crazy, and you have to really experience that. So experiential learning is one thing that we are doing. And apart from building in small curriculums for children, wherein younger children, even right from drawing a space shuttle, they can even learn about water rockets, paper rockets, and from there we start. So it's a multiple thing that we are offering the children, and kind of giving them the experience.
Thank you, Dr. Kason. So that means that people can get involved from, an earlier age, from, like you said, drawing to, building actual satellites that they can work on, and the hands-on part or the experience is what that matters really. And so anybody who's interested in that, do check out about SpaceKidz India, and there are other organizations in India who are doing similar activities. Now this is about when somebody has a general curiosity. Dr. Bhattacharya, I would like to know from you that apart from this general interest, what are the other reasons that people children or adults, they need to, or they would want to indulge in learning activities in the field of space science?
That's actually a very good question. And I would say there are two aspects you can look at. One is simply inspiration, and the other is practicality in terms of employment. So inspiration, we've already discussed looking at the stars. If any of us go and tell somebody what we do for a living, everybody says, wow, that's amazing. I've never heard anybody say, oh, that's kind of boring, right? I mean, it really, there's something in your soul that is excited by the stars. And what that does actually is when you are working on a space mission, you're very, very motivated, and you will push yourself and push innovation in a way that would take much longer here on Earth. So for example, if you are an engineer working on an electrical system, a lighting system, for example, and you have to build it for somebody's office, yeah, that's cool, you have a job, you'll do it. But if they tell you this lighting system is critical for astronauts who are launching next year, you're going to feel just a whole nother level of enthusiasm. And the teams work together in this way, and people become really focused. So space is really an important way to push innovation forward. And the other thing about space you really have to remember is we are talking about transferable skills. Just because you learn how to develop a circuit for outer space does not mean that you have to, only work in space. You can also go back and take that, the previous talk we saw biotechnology, and there's quite a bit of, interaction between the two. And so we're at this critical point right now with space, can I just say. The computer sector in the 1980s was just on the brink of having everybody have a phone in their hands, or technology. Computers cost tens of thousands, and they were the size of a room, right? They were huge and unaffordable. And then within just a very short period of time, we had computers in schools and in desks. So the space tech sector is now moving from this proof of technology way of working, as in, hey, I can launch it and it works, isn't that great, to a new area where space actually is becoming part of our everyday lives. And the best example of that is actually this, right? Your mobile phone talks to outer space hundreds, if not thousands of times a day. What does that mean in terms of practicality? We need people to come in and help us build an entire commercial industry now. Since we're no longer just proving tech, we're building things on scale to help people down here on planet Earth. We need people who work in the media, in law, in marketing, in social sciences, everybody to have some exposure to outer space so that you can come in and you can help us build out the sector. And the message I really want to give everybody today is, we need you to take your interests and take your enthusiasm and think about how the sector is growing and where you might be able to help us out with skills that, space nerds like me don't already have.
Thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya. These are reasons that we do not know explicitly, but they are important, especially like you said, training skills and all. So thank you for sharing these with us. Before moving on to further questions, I would give all the panelists a small task, and I would like all of you to answer in just one sentence about what was the favorite part in your journey of engaging people or your own self with the science around space. So I'll start backward alphabetically. Shanmuga, what was your favorite thing? In just one sentence.
My favorite moment was finding the debris of Chandrayaan-2 on lunar surface. I think that's my favorite moment, I would say. Always.
Thank you. Of course, that was really exciting. What about you, Dr. Kesan?
Building the world's lightest and first ever 3D printed satellite.
Oh, that must be.
And that too with children.
Yeah, so double bonanza.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Rishabh?
Reaching 1 million followers was the best milestone, because when I started it, it was from zero, and I never imagined I would reach this milestone. And besides that, throughout the journey, what I have enjoyed the most is connecting with new people, great young people, and motivating and teaching young students to pursue this field.
Okay, 1 million followers is a really good number. Dr. Bhattacharya, what about you? What was your favorite part?
Well, my favorite has been repeatedly being one of the first people on planet Earth in all of human history to be able to look at images from the surface of Mars from the Hubble Space Telescope. So it's been just such a privilege to be able to look at those, calibrate them, and then send them out to the rest of humanity.
Yeah, I just saw Dr. Kesan doing a small clap for you.
Excited.
Yeah, that's really
Lovely. I mean,
exciting.
that's a real moment, I
Yeah,
should
that's
say,
something
Bidushi.
you read in a space storybook and feel that this is something I
Yeah.
want to see. So yeah, really nice peep into your journeys. Next, I would like to talk to Rishabh. Rishabh, you started your Facebook page very early in your life. From your 8th standard, you started small, and now it's a big successful project. So what learnings this journey gave you and you have for the receivers, the audience, and as well as also for the communicators who are trying to build such websites or Facebook or Instagram pages?
Thank you for the question, Sonal. So, first of all, for the audience, I would like to say that no matter what, make sure you learn something new every day. Now, the source of that learning could be anything. It could be your favorite educational YouTube channel, or your favorite Instagram page, your website, books, etc. When I was in 7th standard, I fell in love with astronomy when I came across a website from where I learned how to spot planets and locate some of the well-known stars in the night sky. Now, since astronomy wasn't taught in schools, I explored this subject independently, and it was the curiosity to learn something new that kept me going. I would also like to add that astronomy is a very vast subject. It is not only limited to certain, popular topics that you hear about, such as black holes, wormholes, time travel, etc. We had so many answers of black holes in the poll. And there are several other interesting topics to explore. In April last year, when there was a complete lockdown in several parts of the world, we started a 30 article series named Basics of Astrophysics. Now, we designed the series in such a way that we made sure we're not only writing about the famous stuff, but also about the basic concepts of astrophysics that are crucial to understand the advanced topics, but unfortunately are less frequently mentioned. Even on our Instagram page, we have an audience of about 300,000 followers, right? We balance our posts. In my 5 years of in proper science communication, I have realized that you tend to interact more with the content that you are familiar with. I will give you an example. On 8th January, it was the birthday of the renowned physicist Stephen Hawking. So I uploaded a picture with the text, "Happy birthday, Stephen Hawking." The post got over 8,000 likes. About 2 weeks later, it was the birthday of another accomplished physicist, Lev Landau. Now, the birthday post of Lev Landau received only 2,400 likes. Why is that? Because compared to Stephen Hawking, Lev Landau is not well known. Less people know about Lev Landau than Stephen Hawking. And this is not only true for scientists, this is also true for science concepts. A post on, say, dark matter and dark energy will get more likes and more content interaction than a post on much basic concepts such as the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram of astrophysics. So now if more and more people interact with the post, the better will be the platform's growth, right? This is the goal of every page or every platform like mine, to gain more and more followers. This is why you see so many posts on minimal topics of astronomy. But as a science communicator, I feel that this is my responsibility to not just focus on the growth of my platform by only concentrating on topics that are already famous and perform well, but to talk about every aspect of the subject, even if it is not popular among people. Because this is how the audience will get to the depth of the subject. explore the entire field, and learn new things they were unaware of. And to my fellow science communicators who have just started their platform, I would advise them to create quality and original content. Don't just follow what others are posting. Come up with something new, something innovative for your audience. That's how you will eventually grow your platform. And lastly, for the young enthusiasts who want to become an astrophysicist, I always say one thing, that make sure you have a strong hold on physics and mathematics, because astrophysics is nothing but physics applied to outer space. So if you master physics, astrophysics will be a cakewalk for you.
Thank you, Rishabh. I totally agree with your idea of balancing post, and I have personally experienced that while working with science television. That science communicators need those popular topics to hook the audience, but we need to talk about all the other topics because in science everything is important, right? And yeah, like you said, everybody should try to learn as much as they can from different sources that they have. Shanmuga, now tell us that you've been a part of a citizen science project. That's one another way to be part of the scientific community. So can you tell us how these work? What time and dedication one needs to give them, and what are these about?
Yeah, Sonal. So there are a lot of citizen science projects you can do in space, and you can contribute to the space exploration as well as the agencies like NASA and ISRO. So what I got involved is only a very small part of it, I would say, but there is a lot more. So if you see an organization like NASA, they have been always putting out different challenges like space apps challenge as well as food challenge. So food challenge is something like where we can submit an idea for how the food should be there in space and what is our an astronaut should get a nutrient food, something like that. So there are a lot of challenges that has been put out by NASA. So what I would suggest to the audience is they can take part in any one of the challenges and submit an idea. And if the idea is very good enough and well received, then they can be selected to the next phase also. So there has been a lot of citizen science challenges that has been put by NASA. So that is one thing they can do. And another one is like tracking satellites as well as the other spacecraft that has been to Moon or Mars or like that. So even when in Chandrayaan 2, I was going through a lot of Twitter threads. So there was particular couple of guys who were tracking the Chandrayaan 2 lander right up to the lunar surface by using radio astronomy, so by using the radio frequencies of the lander. So that is some kind of an interesting area where a lot of people can help, because if you see that area satellite tracking, it's very nascent and it's very new. Not a lot of people are in there, only maybe 3 or 4 people are over there. And even one of the amateur radio astronomers, his name is Katyal, I think so. So he helped NASA to find a old satellite which has been lost out in the space. So with minimum of equipment, people can do a lot in that area. And the last one is I would come to the images that has been in public domain, be it the lunar images or be it the Mars images that has been captured by Mars orbiter camera. So there is a lot we can do with those images. So if you see, there has been a 10-year-old images of lunar surface captured by LROC camera. So that can be put to good use and people can even submit their own papers on it. And there has been a lot of last spacecraft on lunar surface also. So if you see, the first spacecraft to reach the moon has not been found yet. And second thing is there are landers like Chandrayaan 1 MIP which hit lunar surface. The impact area has not been found by anyone. So there is nearly something like 10 to 15 satellites or maybe the spacecrafts that's lying on the moon that's undetected from those images. Maybe people can join in and do a citizen science project on a large scale and find those things. So I would say this is something that can be taken even to the next level. And there is something called ZunoCam. So there is no one available at NASA to process those images. So people can even take a look at those, how to process those images and publish it to the NASA website itself. So these are the things I would say even a normal person can do with some amount of dedication as well as hard work, because this requires a lot of learning, I would say always. So these are the three things that I would say anyone can do, I would probably say.
Thank you, Shanmuga. Yes, I agree. That's really encouraging that, people can be a part of such projects. And, that's very satisfying when you're contributing towards science as well. Dr. Bhattacharya, I would like to know from you that how have people, the non-scientist people have been making a real impact in the field of science? Do you have some examples from your organization, maybe?
I have two examples. One is from my organization, and the other is sort of a bigger picture. The first one is in science and media communications. We have a young lady on our team who is very good at taking very technical information and disseminating it to the public. So basically, they're doing what you guys are doing here in the festival. And I think that's really important because, first of all, for the public, it is public money that's going into government space agencies. But then also in terms of where the sector is going to go in the future, we need to have people informed so that they can provide input. So a really interesting example in the larger picture is there are these materials called Mylar, M-Y-L-A-R, that are used, were originally used for thermal temperature mitigation on spacecraft that would be put on the outside of spacecraft to keep the temperature from fluctuating too much. That was done by scientists and engineers. But what's really important here is other people in the field of social services and medicine realized this material could be used here on planet Earth to benefit people on a very large scale. So you could go now on Amazon and just purchase one of these Mylar sheets for just a few $100, and you can buy it and use it to keep yourself warm. And if you've ever had access to one of these, they're amazing. They just are so good at trapping in heat. So organizations such as the Red Cross use those and distribute them by the thousands to refugees in critical situations to keep them warm. They're inexpensive and they're very durable. And so it's a fantastic example of how space technology was taken by somebody who's not a space person and applied to the benefit of humanity. So whenever you look at spacecraft, whenever you think about space tech, I would encourage you to take your own interests and figure out how what's in space can be brought back down here to Earth to help all of us.
Thank you. I really like how your examples are, and whatever you've spoken so far is out of the most popular stuff. Like people think about impact, about finding planets and everything, which is important, of course. But bringing something to use back on Earth is, and like considering science communication important, that's really, as a science communicator, I'm really happy to hear that. Thank you so much. I have a fun task for all of you panelists. I would like each of you to think of one food item that comes into your mind that you can relate with space, and we'll go I'll just say randomly all of your names and just tell me one food item that you can relate to space. Dr. Kesan.
Fig.
Sorry?
Fig.
Fig. Why fig?
Because you can Earth is flat. That's what our ancestors and everybody said. Earth is flat. So the the fruit is flat, and then you've got a lot of seeds in it, and these seeds, you can say, they denote the planets. So many planets in our galaxy, and the amount of fruits in one tree denotes to the million galaxies that you have. So I would say it's a fruit, a fig fruit.
Okay, so you're kind of connecting the history of how people saw space to now. And what about you, Rishabh?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti, why so?
Because there is a term called spaghettification, and it's when a body falls into a black hole and it is ripped apart by the gravitational pull like a spaghetti. So that term, that process is known as spaghettification. So whenever I have it, I think of black holes.
Okay, that's interesting. Shanmuga, what about you?
I think I'm only thinking about my favorite food item, but being out there in space, I think it's very tough to have those food items.
What is that?
My favorite is, as a Tamil, I would say my favorite is dosa. So what if you go into space and what if you want to have your favorite food item, what you will be doing? So that's where my line of thought is actually.
I would personally love to have a nice plate of dosa sitting somewhere in this space or maybe flying, but just worried about my sambar going all over.
Yeah, that's going to be the next challenge because
Okay.
soon we are going to go to moon as well as Mars. So that is going to be huge challenges about what is the food items they are going to go have over there. I think there is a great deal of innovation in that front, I would say.
But definitely it would be so nice. It's such a warm South Indian cuisine is such a warm food. What about you, Dr. Bhattacharya? What comes into
Well,
your
I'm inspired. I think we should all start voting for dosa in space. That's a great idea. But because they've already had tacos, a Mexican food, so why not dosa? But my favorite, I would have to say, is not a food, but a drink, milk. Because when I was younger, I watched astronauts on the International Space Station take milk from a container, pour it out, and it made a blob, and then they would open their mouth and drink it. And it was just so cool, yet so ridiculous to watch them drinking milk blobs that were floating around inside of the space station. So in fact, every time I have milk and I'm pouring it, I'm thinking, wow, if I were in space, this would be going all over the place and not directly into my glass. So milk.
That's really nice. And now we have a whole dinner table ready with milk, figs, spaghetti, and dosa. So let's bring our audience back from the idea of food. And I have a question for all of you. It would be in your poll again. Shruti, can we please have the second poll question? So, what do you all think is the biggest challenge in accessing space science? Is it the language that is used? It's difficult, lots of jargon, big words. Is it the style that is used as boring for you? Is it the means to access? Sometimes you have to pay a lot of fee for it. Or is it like too much of information that you have to search through? Or are there other reasons? Just wait for a few seconds for everyone to answer. We have the result. The maximum votes are that the means to access are costly. The second highest vote goes to there's too much information. Then we have the language is difficult, and then we have that the style used is boring. So I think the communicators have been stylish enough because that gets the lowest votes. And 14%, that is 16 people present here, say there are other reasons. So that's a really nice insight for the communicators, policymakers, industries watching this session, that the points that we can work on in making space science or other science subjects accessible to our audience. I'll go next to Dr. Kesan. Dr. Kesan, quickly, if you can tell us that what challenges have you faced in making space science accessible to students or adults in informal learning settings?
Well, I think it's been a lot difficult. I think this poll is very interesting, Sonal, because the accessibility is one huge question. People living in the United States, NASA, they've got so many places where you have people going and visiting there and having hands-on experience there. And a 7-year-old child can actually play and learn in a very fun manner. That is lacking in India. It's very difficult. You have this organization ISRO here, which is very huge, and you've got brilliant scientists there and everything there. But only thing is, it is for students who are beyond graduation. For a student like a 7-year-old, it is very, very difficult for us to take them to ISRO to teach them what is space science, because any child, you need to teach them in a fun manner. So you start with paper rockets. I'm sorry to keep repeating this, but this is how you start. You start with color pencils, then you move on to papers, then you move on to making water rockets and satellites and stuff like that.
But what happens in the actual scale? The actual scale, we are unable to teach them. We do not have any simulators to teach them. So what happens is this is becoming a real challenge for us. So we are kind of collaborating with a lot of other space agencies across the globe and trying to bring this and, you know, making it into bits and pieces where, you know, the language is also easily understandable, and there are games, and, you know, in a fun manner we could teach space. We can break it down into small bits so that even a 7-year and an 8-year-old space enthusiast is not sleeping crying that she or he doesn't understand what is space, and he or she is not included in that. So that is where, you know, and also I have authored a small book, Three Kids, you know, the first kids to the moon. You know, so stories are another way to enthuse children into space. So these are the you know, kinds or means and ways in which we are able to bring down space to the little child possible here in India. And you know, we have collaborated with the other space agencies so that we could bring in these small components and small sensors and all these things, and we are trying to showcase that to children, you know. So these are the things that I think we have to develop here in India. And in fact, I'm trying to speak to a lot of chief ministers across the country to start this one research park, space research park, wherein you kind of have different space shuttles. You know, what is you know, whatever the Americans have used, whatever the Russians have used, you know, children need to see something to understand. Touch, feel, you know, they need to have the touch, feel to understand all this. So this is what we're trying to, you know, work on, and hopefully we'll be successful soon.
Thank you, Dr. K. Yeah, the things you talk about, you know, throw light on, you know, how challenging and it is, and how much hard work people like you, our other panelists, are bringing in. So I think people from all the industries, as much I would say, they can help build these environments, you know, to build, like we have in our constitution, a scientific temper into people. That will be really nice if you know, everybody comes together. But yeah, a lot of hard work goes in this.
Absolutely. See, if you have to say, you know, you need a
everybody.
gigamolar counter in a satellite, you don't even know what is a gigamolar counter, and it is all like, you know, ooh, gigamolar counter. It's fun. So what is a gigamolar counter? You have to bring that, you know, it's argon gas. You need to know what is it. So, you know, you have to break it down into pieces, for which you need some material facts here. And that is where we are lacking, you know. So I think we will try hard, and very soon we'll get all these things in India.
But we are moving ahead in the road with all the efforts that people like
Absolutely.
you all and everybody is doing. We need communication, we need the logistics, we need the materials, we need people themselves to, you know, bring be an enthusiast about such topics. So thank you for sharing the challenges that you faced. Another challenge we see is a lot of fake news, you know, pseudoscience. We've seen that in the pandemic happening a lot, but there's a lot happening in space science as well. Rishabh, you've been involved in social media, right? Facebook pages, and Facebook or WhatsApp or all other social media platforms, they are a big place where, you know, the pseudoscience or fake news gets accelerated like a snowball. So how can we address them? How can we do away with them?
Yes, Sonal. So fake news and misinformation find their way quickly on social media. You know, every day I come across a couple of posts that are factually wrong and have been created to get, you know, more content interaction. And, you know, to mock the situation, one day I made a meme in which Albert Einstein is quoted saying, "I never said half the things people say I did." And then below that there is another quote saying that I never said the above lines too. so
That's
now
a
the
nice
question
way.
so
Yeah.
now the question is how to fight it. You know, one of the way is to go into the details. I'll share one instance with you. In September 2019, a news article spread like a wildfire on the internet, as used by several news outlets, and many social media pages, the headline was Gamma ray bursts form jets that travel faster than light. And I'm not only talking about the small platforms, even the most established ones use a similar headline for their article snippets. Now, when I read the headline, when I came across it, I was surprised because such a claim would change the course of physics and pose a significant challenge to Einstein's special theory of relativity. But when I read the article, the complete article, I was disappointed because there was nothing special in it. Now, it said that the jets could travel faster than the local speed of light. Now, that is in the gas clouds where the speed of light is less than what it is in a vacuum. Hence, there was no violation of the special theory of relativity. Now, see, there would have been several people who could not or did not read the full article, okay, but they only read the headline. They would have discussed it with their friends. Oh, see, scientists found something traveling faster than light. And a fraction of them would have inferred that the special theory of relativity has been violated, and so on. Now, this is an example where an incomplete piece of headline gave birth to a piece of false news. Because I received several messages on my page to explain this so-called anomaly. So going into the details is crucial. Every weekend, I upload a post on Facebook called "This Week in Space," and this is one of the, this is the oldest post of my page, and it dates back, to 5 years. 5 years ago, I started this series on my page. So I upload this post, "This Week in Space," in which I highlight the week's development in space science and technology. Now, I make sure that I provide external links to all the highlights in the caption of the post. It is either a press release or the concerned highlights research paper. So this is one way we can fight, fake news and pseudoscience by, going into the details as a reader and as a science communicator by providing authentic links for reference.
Okay, thank you, Rishabh. These are really good examples, and I really like your idea of the meme. I agree. I think all the viewers who are a part of this panel today, something I learned while I was getting my academic training as a science communicator is to have a critical thinking. It's okay, you can read any headline, you can read any article, just try to think it critically, try to question it. And that's what science is about, questioning everything that you see, right? And Chinese whispers is something we play as children. It's something that teaches us how, fake news just comes, you hear something, and by the end of it, like Rishabh, you said that just missing few words before speed of light changes the meaning totally. So
So
yeah.
see, because I will share another example that,
Sure.
if you are a science communicator and you are the source of, telling the audience that this is what is happening in the research field. Now, suppose I make a video that on, primordial black holes. Now, I'm not a researcher in primordial black holes, so I cannot, verify the claims experimentally. But as a science communicator, what I do is firstly, I do explain in my videos that it is a claim that still needs verification. And secondly, I direct my audience to the research paper or the press release for further information. So I never write that this is the case, this has been the case. I just say that according to a recent research, and that these claims are, they still need to be verified experimentally. I don't say that now this is the theory.
I think we've lost Sonal.
Yeah.
The submission. Just like the black holes are depicted like a donut. You saw a WhatsApp message going around everywhere. So my kids came running to me and they said, "Ma'am, is it a vanilla donut or is it a chocolate donut? How is it going to be looking?" Oh yes, Sonal is back.
Yeah, sorry. things that technology does to us. I wandered somewhere in space, getting so excited by the this thing. We'll move on to the questions because my last question to our panel expert Shanmuga, same as something somebody wants to ask him. I'm sorry, I left. Had Rishabh completed his
Yeah, I
answer?
completed my answer.
I'm sorry, I just assumed because Dr. Kesan was kind of rounding it up. So thanks again, Rishabh, for
Thank
telling
you.
us about how to do away with the fake news. Shanmuga, I am very interested, and somebody from our audience, the name is not specified, says that I find it really intriguing how Mr. Subramanian sir was able to contribute in space science, even though he is from IT background. Can you talk more about how it was possible for him to do so? Shanmuga, can you tell the steps of, how you ended up finding the debris of the lander and how people can, find satellites in the space?
Okay, to begin with, as we all know, ISRO lost the contact with lander. So NASA's LRO has been orbiting around the moon for the last 10 years. So they have been capturing images of each and every area of the moon. And so when you look at the database or the map they have, we can look back even 10 years back, what was the area was like. So they have been searching for the particular area where the crash happened or lander was supposed to be there, but they were not able to find it because in moon south pole the lighting conditions are so different. So to begin with, I didn't even know all these details when I started off looking for the Vikram lander, but I proceed further. I was able to gather a lot of details about what is the lighting conditions at South Pole, how South Pole is different from other areas on the moon surface, like that. So when NASA was not able to find it, they put it out in a public website saying these are the images, you can download it. So this is like a 1 million pixel image. So if you are able to find it, then just let us know, like that they said. So I started searching the image without any plan, like whether I can do it by using AI or do it by using the manual methods like that. Then I choose the manual methods, like just finding in a normal image whether there is any impact area or whether there is any shiny surface, shiny thing on the moon like that. But I was not able to find it for the first couple of days. So then I started only searching in a particular, let us say 2 into 2 pixel area, that is 2 into 2 square kilometer area. So I only searched in that area because I pretty much very well know that the lander came from the North Pole and it was not from the South Pole. So it came from the North Pole to land on the South Pole. So I searched only in that direction. So after some hours of searching, I was able to find something different. So then I went back and looked in the old images. I was not able to find anything. So whatever I found might be just a tiny payload on the lander itself. So even after finding that, persistence is must, because first when I put out it, nobody cared about it. Then I reached out to a couple of NASA scientists also. I think they didn't even look at the email. Then what I did means I reached out to one of the principal investigator of the LROC camera. So then he thought this might be the one, and then he reached out to the NASA scientists because NASA and LRC are in close collaboration. Then they put out an press release saying they've actually found it based on my takeoff. So even if you do all the hard work, persistence is a must, because without persistence, you won't be able to achieve anything in space. You should try again and again until you succeed over there, I would say. So that's a very quick recap of whatever I did, I would say. And if anybody is interested, they can still go and do a lot of stuff like this on lunar surface. As I said earlier, there has been nearly 20 plus spacecraft that has been lost out on the lunar surface. So you've got a lot of images on LROC quick map. So you can go in and search for the location and see whether there's something different. Either you can put out a paper or reach out to some of the scientists saying, this is what I found, something like that. So it's a very interesting subject, very interesting for anyone who is interested in citizen science, I would say.
Thank you, Shanmuga, for sharing your story. It encourages people. Everyone can do it, but it needs the perseverance, as you said, interest and the perseverance too. You need a lot of patience. There are lots of images, coding, and so much to get involved in. Thank you so much. We have another question to Dr. Bhattacharya. It is from Karthikeyan. They say that, can you please throw some light on Perseverance rover and James Webb Space Telescope? Thank you.
Okay, that's a great question. As you might know, the Mars Perseverance rover is arriving at Mars on the 19th of February, I think it is.
18th.
So the orbiter is going to be there. And so then the lander is actually going to leave the spacecraft and land on the Earth. And the reason, or sorry, on Mars. See, I think of both planets as being kind of the same in my head. Once it lands on Mars, this particular rover and its lander have a series of amazing experiments on them. First of all, there's a helicopter on board that will try to demonstrate flight on the surface of Mars where there's a very tenuous, very thin atmosphere. They're also going to try and make oxygen from material on Mars itself. And the idea here being that they will try to look at, possible human colonization and would it be possible to manufacture oxygen locally. And there are also there are a number of other experiments on this rover that are preparing the way for human beings to land on the surface of Mars itself. And here we're talking not just about going there, but because it's cool, but in the longer term, people like Elon Musk have a vision of us getting out to Mars and becoming a multi-world species. So we are all paving the way for this. And right now it's a very expensive endeavor, but I think over time it will become less and less expensive, just like satellites have now dropped to the point where Dr. Kesan's students can actually go and build and launch them, whereas before they would have cost hundreds of millions of US dollars, right? So we're moving in that direction also with Mars technology. Now, the James Webb Space Telescope is the follow-up to the first job I ever had in college, or the Hubble Space Telescope. With the James Webb Space Telescope, we should be able to look much further out into the universe and really look to the beginnings of the formation of the universe, tens of billions of years back. So there are a fleet of instruments on there at different wavelengths that will give you information on, how was the universe formed, talking about nebula, star formation regions and other aspects of it too. And here, let me just give a plug here for, as a mother, talking about families. I have two daughters, and one of the things that I think has been really important for them is getting exposure to space. So, space, going to parks, NASA or any other space science museums is fantastic. And what you can do there is think of this as a real family outing. And I really do hope ISRO comes up with a series of visitor centers across the country, because I imagine that I, as a parent with young children, would make a trip to this location and I would be inspired as a parent and my kids would also be inspired. So this is really the best way to build the space workforce. You want to talk about hands-on and tangible. I just want to make a plug for asking ISRO to please go ahead and build these visitor centers across the nation so that we can have people, entire families going to visit these and continue to build the workforce that India so critically needs to be able to stay as a leader in the space sector in the coming decades.
In fact, Ms. Bidushi, I had requested Honorable Prime Minister when we had an interaction 3 weeks ago. I made this presentation and I told him this is the very must required for India. Every child needs that, that visit. So I'm so glad that you also second that. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Great. Some good ideas that I hope reaches the deciding body, policymakers, and everybody who was involved in building these centers. That will be really, really nice. Thank you, Karthikeyan, for such an interesting question. Next question we have for Dr. Kesan. The question says that we are sending so many satellites every year. So in 2050, there will be more satellites. What are the disadvantages or effect on our planet? Some great scientists told that what we send to space will come back to us. What is your thought on this? I think they touch upon space debris.
Space debris, yeah, I know. Because that's a fantasy word or a jargon, I should say. Immediately when you say you're sending up a satellite, you're creating a debris. Of course, yes, but if we do not send one, then we are lagging behind. We are not going to be, innovating anything, or we are not going to be learning anything. So we definitely, of course, SpaceX is sending Starlinks and, so many, recently 143 satellites. So India, I think, is not still onto that extent, but at least we definitely need to send about 20 to 25 satellites a year, because we need our we are still working on our weather imaging and everything, so for which we definitely have to send satellites. So please don't say no to it, and please don't say it's causing debris, because most of it is sent in the lower Earth orbit, and it becomes it burns out, and so it's not going to cause any harm. So the huge satellites are sent in the geo platform, and not many go up to the geo platform though.
Thank you, Dr. Kesan, and thank you for the question. It's really interesting, about all these things going up in the space, but there are measures coming up, to decrease that debris in space. So, we are not polluting it. And like you said, there are many important reasons why we need all those satellites up there. So we are running up with time, and I'll just take one last question. It is to Rishabh. Rishabh, where do you see the scope of astrophysics and aeronautical engineering in the next 10 years?
So in this country, I think aeronautics and astrophysics, they are very different branches, but they have a great scope, because see, more and more people are now beginning to realize that because of ISRO's great participation in, now ISRO is becoming very active as compared to the previous decade in sending satellites in space. Now more and more people are seeing the potential of the Indian space program, and more people are going into the aeronautical engineering. Now as far as astrophysics is concerned, since more and more satellites are sending back data, we need more people to analyze that data and go in the field of astrophysics, because see, data analysis has become so important for astrophysicists that we are running short of manpower to analyze so much of data that is being produced. There is a next biggest radio telescope, the Square Kilometer Array. Now it is expected that it will produce every single night, it will produce so much data that hasn't been produced by several radio telescopes combined, the Square Kilometer Array. So in order to manipulate that data and analyze that data, we need more astrophysicists and more people who are into this field. So the scope of astrophysics is surely going to increase as we launch more and more telescopes and more satellites that probe deeper into the universe.
Thank you, Rishabh, for answering this question, which was from Mayank. Thank you, Mayank, for the question. I think we are done for today. It was a very interesting discussion. Thank you, all the panelists, for sharing your stories, your journey, the challenges, the success, all of which, make the process of science. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone who joined us. You gave us your precious time on a Friday evening. So that means a lot to all of us. Thank you so much, and I'll give the space to Shruti now.
Right. Thank you so much, Sonal. And on behalf of Team India Science Festival, I just want to express my deepest gratitude to all of you for joining us here on a Friday evening. I mean, couldn't have thought of a better way to spend my Friday evening, to be honest. Such a stimulating discussion with such amazing personalities. It was such a pleasure hosting you all on our platform. And I must say, Sonal, you beautifully navigated through the session and kept us all engaged throughout. So thank you for doing such a fantastic job of it. Dr. Kesan, Dr. Bhattacharya, Rishabh, and Shanmuga, thank you so much for joining us. I'm positive that our audience is feeling very, very inspired today and are looking at the space sciences as something which isn't too far, perhaps something that we have sort of completely decided that it's very, very far from our lives. It's probably not. And you all are very good examples of people who have managed to make space sciences more accessible to everybody. So thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure. And I really hope that we can get to host all of you on our platform in the coming future. Hopefully, it doesn't have to be online. Hopefully, we get to meet offline in an on ground setting, and all our attendees get to interact with you. And I just want to tell all our attendees that we have linked all of our panelists' social media handles and their websites in the chat. So make sure that you go over to their websites and look into the work that all our panelists are doing, because we've received so many questions in our Q&A about the kind of work and the journey that everybody has experienced. While we weren't able to take all of them, would 100% recommend everybody to go check out the websites. And with that, we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining us. Absolute pleasure to host you all at India Science Festival. I just want to tell all our attendees that our festival is on for the next 2 days of 30th and 31st January. We're coming to the end of our fest, and obviously it's been a very, very interesting journey with everybody. And we have the last 2 days of our festival left, and we really want you all to join us and be a part of this amazing journey and celebration of science and technology in India. A lot of you had asked questions about becoming an astronaut. Now, guess what? We have a session with an ex NASA astronaut on Sunday evening. So make sure you attend that, and perhaps you will actually get to know how you could become an astronaut. We also have sessions lined up for health, space, and robotics. We have sessions on science communication. So make sure that you stay attuned for the rest of our events on Saturday and Sunday as well. Check out our program schedule on our website. You can also see our, you can also leave us your feedback on the feedback form link that I'm leaving in the chat right now. Make sure to tell us how we can improve in the future, and we'll make sure to incorporate your suggestions. Again, hope to see you all tomorrow as well as on Sunday. Some exciting workshops lined up in the morning as well as the evening. You can access all of our events on our website, and we're very active on our social media channels too. Participate in our Twitter contest. You can tell us what you liked best about our sessions, and we'll make sure that the best tweets come to everybody's attention and gain and get exciting prizes. So thank you again for joining us on a Friday evening. Have a lovely rest of the night, and yep, keep celebrating science as we bring the voice of science to all of you. Thank you and good night.